EM, your DM Corey, and we are playing the Arcanoclism. Last week, the party continued their trek along the high road towards the Crypt Garden Forest, eventually branching off into the mountains towards the forest itself. And then upon arriving, traveled through the forest, met some more of those strange kidney bean monsters along the way. After a encounter with some of the kidney bean monsters, Borax and Uvendar or Uvender, sorry, I never remember how to pronounce his character's name. Uvender were they disappeared suddenly from the party, only to show up the next morning, wondering why the rest of the party had disappeared. But in the meantime, the three remaining adventurers, Stock, Xanalor, and Nevis, continue along the path through the forest, eventually coming upon a sort of cabin in the woods with piles of, leftover mutilated corpses outside. Upon investigating a little bit and gaining entry into the building, you found that this lodge belonged to Xantor, or someone who claimed to be Xantor. He gave you guys lodging under the pretense that you guys were just looking for a place to stay for the night, but eventually made it obvious, or made it clear, that he had known who you guys were and why you were there, and that he would go quietly with you to back to Neverwinter if you could answer 3 riddles. And after some debate, you guys came up with some answers for the riddles. You had 2 of 3 answers correct.
At one point.
At one point. But so that since you guys weren't completely correct, you combat basically started with Xantor. Xanalor, in a moment of quick thinking, decided to challenge Xantor to one-on-one combat, where his suits of armor companions sort of framed the battlefield around you guys in case anything went wrong. But once Xantor was felled by Xanalor, the suits of armor made their attacks, and you guys wound up coming out on top and finding some paperwork inside the now dead Xantor's study that showed that he was working on a method to turn people into golems. And as you guys investigated Xantor's dead body, it became apparent that he too was a golem. So with those papers in tow, and the remaining 2 party members as well showing back up in the morning, you guys packed up and made your way for Neverwinter, where you had a relatively uneventful journey. You came across a family named Brinder, who was, what was that correct? Brander, yes. You came across a family, Brander, who was a very poor family of traders that were moving north to Neverwinter to try to start a new life, whose youngest son had passed away on the journey. After giving them some supplies and fixing up their wagon, you guys continued your way to Neverwinter, one evening coming across a man who claimed to be of the Cashian order. And then you guys arrived back in Neverwinter, and that's where we left off last week. What do you guys want to do? Do you go straight for the Emerald Scholar? Do you go to Hartman's Bazaar to deal with the donkeys? Since you do have to, I mean, keeping them or not, you do have to do something with them while you're at the Emerald Scholar. So what do you guys want to do?
I want to dump my donkey and get my gold.
Okay.
Your donkey. About what time of day is it, do you think?
Given the, so it's probably.
Do you have enough time to do multiple things? While I'm wondering.
Yeah, you can definitely take care of dropping off the donkeys and going to the Emerald Scholar.
Okay. I'm all for that. I follow Xanalor then.
Okay. So you guys head towards Hartman's Bazaar in Neverwinter. Albrecht Hartman, the old The elder human male is again working his stand, and he looks he's very happy that you guys have brought the donkeys back in good working order. And so he offers you three of your 5 gold back.
Before I sell Clive back, I want to ask him if he wants to stay with us, even though it's going to be risky as hell, and he might, get killed or something, or if he'd prefer to go back with this guy and resume his old life.
Okay.
Which would he prefer?
So you kind of you don't really take a knee because you're knee high to a donkey already. But so you stand in front of Clive and you ask him which he would rather do, and he kind of looks you over and looks back at Albrecht and he goes, "Do you have any more pineapple?"
No, I don't.
Now, whatever you choose, you're smarter than me. You'll be right.
I'm gonna return them because now I feel like I'm just being used for pineapple, and that hurts.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are refunded 3 gold each for the donkeys. So that basically you were able to rent donkeys for like 2 weeks for 2 gold pieces.
Not bad.
Not bad at
Borax
all.
was no donkey's whore.
No,
All right.
I want to be liked for me, not for my pineapples.
So Albrecht, he hands you the gold back. He says, "Thank you. Anytime you need livestock, I please hope did you think of me, Albrecht Hartman, and Hartman's Bazaar." All right. So with that, do you guys have any business you want to attend to before making your way to the Emerald Scholar? Do all of you go to the Emerald Scholar?
Sure, I think we should all go. We might end up picking up another job or something. You never know.
Or get directed somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I will. I'm going to point out that as you guys came into the city, you're not sure when it happened, but Vershad has again disappeared somewhere in the city.
Do we actually notice, or are we just going to pretend we notice when he comes back?
I vote pretending.
He did leave you guys with his donkey. I don't remember what his donkey's name was because he went outside the naming convention, but
it was Charlie, wasn't it?
It might have been Charlie. Yeah. So he leaves Charlie with you guys. So you guys have his 3 gold as well. All right. So you guys make your way back once more to the Emerald Scholar. Did you want me to pull up the description for the Emerald Scholar again so you guys get a feel for where you're at?
Yes, why not?
Sure.
It was a very nice description.
Okay. So the Emerald Scholar is unlike most shops in the realm. It's filled with books of all sorts from far and wide, along with items for potions, spells, and scientific inquiry, along with a small dining establishment, rooms for rest, and rooms for varied studies. The interior is well lit by strings of magic lights running the tops of the walls. Instead of the normal rough and tumble bunch, you find wizards, scholars, mages, and those who would seem out of place in standard taverns or inns. There are all sorts of minor spell casting and heated discussions on various topics occurring all around. There are several employees throughout the building dressed in shimmering emerald robes, and they're kind of bustling between tables and bringing books and supplies and other things, as well as several pages from the Mages College itself. You notice their robes, while they're a pretty, they're plain colored like grays and browns, but they have the symbol of the Mages College of Neverwinter emblazoned on them. You guys work your way through once more, and you find Varen Leodin at his table. Varen, he's basically nose deep in a book when you guys approach the table. But he has not noticed you come in yet.
Are there other seats at the table?
Yes, yeah. There's still like seats all around where you can see like there's some things left over, like where people have come and gone from the table, having worked with Varen and or come to write notes for him or things like that. But there are several open seats at the table.
I'm just gonna sit down and take the book he's reading and start pretending to read it.
Okay. He kind of stares shocked at the empty table in front of him for a moment, and then he looks up and he says, "Oh, it's you. Welcome back. I trust your trip to the Crypt Forest was lucrative."
I don't know about lucrative. we found what you were looking for, though.
Oh,
I
you have
take
the
out the amulet and I put it down on the table in front of him.
he grabs it and he kind of holds it up by the chain, sort of appraising the medallion on the amulet, and he looks it over a little bit, and you see him sort of put it into his he wraps it. He pulls a like a fine, like a silken cloth out of a bag next to him, and he wraps amulet up in it, and he kind of like makes a motion, and one of the College of Neverwinter pages comes and grabs it and puts it into like a messenger satchel. He whispers something to the page, and the page takes off out of the building.
I'm gonna take out the little bag of Xantar
Okay.
and toss that to him too.
He looks at it and he goes, "Well, what's this?"
Xantar.
Is he dead? I'm going to need a little bit more information.
He wouldn't come with us, and he turned into dust after I attacked.
That's very curious. That you didn't happen to find anything else while you were there, did you? And like, what were they? What was he doing with the amulet in the Crypt Forest?
I just look to the others.
I look at Nevis and, make the motion of, well, you grabbed all the papers.
Right now I'm kind of wondering if there's a reason to withhold the information from him yet, to maybe barter for some more reward or something. I mean, we did finish the contract or the job assignment, whatever, with the amulet, but
I think
I look at him and I ask, what other things do you think were going on with Mr. Xantor?
At this point, I'm honestly as in the dark as I was before you left. I'm as far as history of the college goes, the amulet has always been used to calm the seas surrounding Neverwinter. I'm not entirely sure why he would have left the college with it.
so. We did find some other information.
Sorry. Before he continues, Anil, I owe you some coin for your troubles. He waves another page over, and they come with 5 little sacks, little pouches with gold pieces in them, and they each have 25 gold pieces in them.
Ooh, we're rich now.
What might, now that the money's here, what might some more information be worth to you, sir?
What we found is quite valuable.
Could be just the information you're looking for.
If you don't mind, I would very much like to look at this information, and I can appraise it and determine what its value to the college may in fact be.
Don't trust him. He might remember everything he reads.
I'm certainly not opposed to greasing the squeaky wheel, so to speak.
Squeak, squeak.
Well, we could just hand over a single page to him of some of the information and Just wave the stack of the rest in his nose.
I don't know if you guys can hear.
So what are you guys doing?
I was waiting. I thought Nevis was saying something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it sounded like he was saying something, but he was very quiet.
He's the man with the papers. We can't proceed.
It looks like he got or he dropped out of the game chat on Discord. He's back.
We shall wait for the man with paperwork to return.
Okay,
Enjoy
I'm
the
back. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I don't know. You just like went like it sounded like you went quiet mid sentence.
Yeah, I'm sure I did. So anyway, to iterate, that I will relinquish the paperwork to you on one condition, and that is if you find it of no value, then I want it back.
I can agree to these terms.
I'm sorry, you can or cannot?
I can. I very much can agree to those terms. If they're of no use to me, then you're free to do with them what you will.
Okay.
And how are we going to determine the price?
I guess that will sort of depend on what these pages contain. Is this some sort of is this a play? What are you getting at?
I look at Zen Lore and I go kind of wink a little and I say, I think we can get rewarded pretty well for this information.
I let it go.
Okay.
I pull
Nevis.
the papers out and I hand them to was it Varen? Is that who we're
Varen.
talking to?
Yes, Varen. Yeah. Okay. So you hand the papers to Varen. He looks them over. You see as he looks from page to page, his youthful face becomes more and more worried with the term of each page. He gets to the last page, flips back to the first piece of paper, sets it down, and just stares at the pile of parchment before him.
Looks like that's gonna be worth a lot then, huh?
Subtly trying to steal it back.
This research, this is truly horrible. Was there evidence that Xantor had tried this on anyone?
I point to the pocket sand again.
Yeah.
Piles of corpses, animated armor.
As you
I forgot the corpses.
as you guys say these things to him, you see he just he hangs his head in silence for a moment. He looks back up to you. He says, those poor souls. The process described here, I'm not sure how much you know about it, would have been a gruesome one to endure. To think he was behind it too.
Well, he was one of it.
I didn't realize what the scope of this was. Please, if you aren't already sitting, you'll need to now. So Varen, he waits for you guys to sit or to choose not to, and
I sit down, but because I want to.
Years ago, there was another promising student at the Mages College. He was as gifted in the arcane as myself, if not more. A half-elven male. His name was Hildraith. That's Hildraeth. Hildraith was patient in his studies, but had a penchant for emotional investment. A few years back, Hildraith became very withdrawn and irritable. As time went on, he began to openly question professors and higher-ups in the college about ethics and the secrets of the college. He began to draw a small following of like-minded students. I'm sure you've already guessed that Xantor was among them. Hildraith suddenly left the college, and with him went all his followers. That was the last.
Did he change his name to Voldemort after that?
That was the last we'd seen or heard of any of them until Xantor had been spotted near the Crypt Garden Forest. Now their whereabouts are as much a mystery as before your trip. We have no way of knowing at this time where the real Xantor is. From this research here, we can ascertain that the person you encountered was in fact a facsimile of the elf. These pages that you've handed me bear not only Xantor's signature and the hallmarks of his work, but also that of Hildraith. When Hildraith left the college, I thought for sure that was the last we'd heard of him. But it seems as though being away from society and away from the protection and guidance of the college has potentially stirred his interests beyond that which is typically permissible. As far as what this information can bring you as far as extra coin, there will be some. There will be payment. I need to speak with the headmaster of the college. He will need to know about this immediately.
Well, also, we left his cabin intact and boarded up.
He unfurls the map that he showed you guys the Crypt Garden Forest on in the first place before you left, and he says, "I'm not sure how good of cartographers you all are, but could you please help approximate where in the forest this cabin was?" Does anyone have like a cartographer's kit by any chance?
Let me see what I'm.
No.
It's not a very common toolkit that people pick to
I've
have
had
a
it
proficiency
before. I don't have it with this one. I do have proficiency with land vehicles.
in. Okay.
Let me make sure I don't have it hidden in something else though.
Okay.
I have a hammer.
Is it a hammer piece?
No, it doesn't look like I have it hidden in anything.
Okay, all right. Why don't one of you then? I'll let you guys decide who make a survival check with advantage. This is just kind of pooling your knowledge together to see how close of an approximation you can get.
I look
My
at
survival
Borax because he talks to animals and stuff.
What's Borax?
Mine's a +4 as well, so.
Nevis or
Oh, yes.
Borax?
We've been
Let's
here
give
before.
it to Nevis because he was actually there.
True.
Borax did disappear.
Yeah.
All right, here goes. First of the day. We'll see what happens.
2 druids get lost in the woods.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, very nice. Okay. Yeah,
druids,
you
1 pup.
Nice.
you mark on the map, and you're pretty sure that it's fairly close. Given the scale of the map and how long it took you to travel, you're able to approximate pretty close as far as you believe to where in the Crypt Garden Forest your encounter with the lodge was. Varen at that point, he.
I'm pretty sure it's within a couple of clicks of this area.
Thank you, Nevis. We will be sure to send a group of mages to investigate.
Woohoo! What's next?
It seems we lost the dungeon master.
DM is dead. DM is dead. No go. No go. Wave him off. Can't hear
Another
him.
Discord dropout.
Lost
That confused look
Scott
is great.
too. Weird.
Must be an Illinois thing because everybody for Illinois has disappeared, but you guys are okay.
Yeah, must be. Man, this is horrible. It's gonna be one of those days, I guess.
Some great suspense.
I know, right? Now that's some prime DMing right there. He's giving us all of this lore in one giant real-life whisper.
while we have the opportunity for some metagaming, I'm trying to come up with an idea of how we can solidify money for the papers that we just delivered.
Well,
Seeing as he has to take them to Dumbledore and let him see them, and
let's go with to Dumbledore.
Yeah, and if he refuses to do that, we can just say then you can describe him to him.
Yeah, Dumbledore's got the deep pockets.
yeah, we want some sort of assurance.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Scotty.
Hey.
Did anyone else lose a connection?
Yes.
Just Corey.
You and Corey, yeah.
Just
Okay.
God. God's dead.
I got about 45 seconds of Corey talking and not hearing a thing, and Mike going like this.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys dropped at the same time, so.
Gotcha.
Trying to wave him off, and he kept talking.
I tried that thing with putting an Ethernet to the computer to see if I could get more cameras on Roll20, but it didn't work.
You may need to reconnect. I know I've had to do that a couple of times when we've been playing with people.
Can you guys hear me
I've
now?
tried it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've tried it
Yep.
throughout at various points in time, and it never seems to do anything.
Damn.
So I disconnect. So everything looked normal on my screen. I clicked disconnect on the voice chat, and Discord basically froze trying to connect to something. I'm not sure.
For me,
So
yeah, Discord just like restarted itself, and I
Oh, okay.
don't know why.
I mean, I looked at their server status, and it said that they had some issues with like API earlier today, but they said that they had it resolved. So I'm not too sure what happened there. Okay, where did you guys lose me?
We were just finished talking about where on the map and that you need to take
Yep.
the stuff to your headmaster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
where it dropped out.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So he rolls up the scroll. He puts the parchment with the research findings in a like a folder of sorts, and he puts those things in his satchel. And he stands up from the table and puts his satchel on, and he says, "Please, if you'll excuse me, I need to bring these to the headmaster immediately."
And I
Hang
stand
on
up
there,
and put an
Bergen.
arm out.
There was a tentative agreement with those papers, and I'm not sure I'm going to allow you to take them out of our
What if we go with
out of our
Review.
site without some sort of assurance. I know you've already said there's going to be more, but I want assurance
Yeah.
that those papers
Yeah,
are going to
either we
garner
go
us
with
some.
you or you leave the papers here and you describe them to them. But until we get paid, get the things you're paying us for. Goods after payment.
Okay.
I mean, we are still trying to establish trust here, so this will go a long way
DM
towards
didn't
that.
see this one coming.
Okay.
Even something in writing. If you want to grab a piece of parchment and write down and put your mark on it that you will reward us or return the papers, that's fine.
Hell, let's hold one of the apprentices in trust.
He waves to one of the Emerald Scholars employees over, and they come over with like a sort of like a ream of parchment over their arm, and they lay a piece of parchment out on the table, and Varen writes a quick note on it and signs it, and you see him dip his ring in some wax and then put it on the bottom underneath his signature.
Would I know it's the wrong kind of wax?
It's not the wrong kind of wax.
I didn't ask if it was. I asked if I would know if it was.
Stock would not, no. And so basically the piece of paper, it says that your names are owed a debt by the college of the Mages College of Neverwinter, and that will be paid. That debt will be paid once the value of the information can be appraised by the headmaster of the college. and that the payment would be no less than 10 gold pieces.
Each?
His expression didn't do much for helping him out there.
He said as he fills this out and he goes through. I'm sorry to say that our efforts thus far have proven fruitless to find the strange beast that you fought in the written literature. Is there anything else that you could tell me that could help us narrow our search? Believe me, we haven't given up.
I start giving him a dissertation on all of the notes that I've been making about all of the different things we have fought. Approximate armor class, necrotic damage, assholes on kidney beans, and 2 legs, vestigial arms, one end all teeth, tiny eyes, latches on, does necrotic damage, mouth always open. Precursored by torn parchment sounds, the weird squids. Produces darkness after 30 feet, all that shit again.
I crack open my journal and write, Stock takes detailed notes.
I had no idea that you were making monster crib sheets over there.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Told you I was taking notes, man.
Yeah. Okay. So Varen looks this over and he's just like, he looks at like the detail of the notes. He looks back at you and he looks at the detail of the notes and he looks back at you. These are, I couldn't have asked for anything more specific myself. Do you have a moment where one of the pages could copy this and I could also bring this with?
Yep, I'll sit down with one of them, and I'm just going on and on and on and watching this obnoxious little bitch-ass kid try to keep up.
Okay.
And then I get really irritated and slam my fist on the table when he asks me to repeat something, and I'm just generally scaring the shit out of him.
Once you slam your fists on the table because you've had to repeat yourself and you're getting fed up, he like nervously like waves in the air and 2 more pages come and sit at the table and they all start taking notes together. You don't have to repeat yourself again. With that, Varen, he asks you, please, while we're appraising these notes and trying to figure out what may happen next, in case the college may need you again, would you mind staying in Neverwinter for a short spell? That way I can find you quickly, and if a discovery is made regarding either Hildraith and Xantor or the monstrosities in the place.
I trust that the college is paying for the lodgings.
You guys are still.
We have the breeze home.
Yeah, you have.
That's right.
The breeze home. Yeah.
So give them the information on the breeze home and where at least one of us should be able to be found on a semi-regular basis, if not.
Yes. I believe the steward sent one of the Mages College's messengers over before. He should know the place.
Yes. File Redfoot. Good lad. He doesn't
Okay.
make me repeat myself.
So with that, Varen he bustles out of the building and leaves you guys in the Emerald Scholar. So that said, wow, I'm looking at my dice and I forgot to pull out a lot of D4s. Like all of my D4s. That's weird. Not that I think I'll need them right now, but okay. So we're coming up on basically. Oh, by the way, you guys for finishing the information exchange and the Crypt Garden Forest, you guys level up to level 3 if you haven't already.
I did process that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So basically you guys have some free time to yourselves before like while you wait for Varen and the headmaster to sort of suss things out and figure out what this information means and if there's any precedent for it in history or anything like that, or if even their research is something that's been attempted before. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit off the table. at this point, I was actually Sean was supposed to be with us today, and I was actually going to have him do his whole character thing, but he wound up having to back out at the last minute. Let's start with Borax. Borax, you said that you wanted to potentially.
Yeah, I'm still processing what happened that night in the forest. So, I want to. I'm 95% sure that it was Myaliki, but I want to, look through religious texts and stuff, see how often appearances like that happened, if it's happened in the past, if it tends to signify something, or if it's just,
Okay. All right. Why don't you go ahead make a survival check for me? Or sorry, investigation check. This is going to be you moving through the city, trying to find what it is you are in fact looking for.
That's an 11.
Okay. So it takes you a bit of asking around and most of a day, but you do wind up finding up in the Blue Lake district. In the Blue Lake district, like around Blue Lake on the map, it isn't really portrayed, but there are sort of like there's like some small. I don't know how I want to describe it. It's like small stands of trees, really, where like people of like druidic nature go to convene, and there's actually a building in there. It's called the Order of the Unicorn.
Sounds
Which
fitting.
yes, which you feel like is probably you've been pointed to as a good place to do research on Myaliki. So you go in and you see a very tall, lithe elven woman. She introduces herself as Ovate Bryndin, Bryndin. And Ovate Bryndin, she sees you come in looking a little lost, and she sort of like glides up to you with like long blue robes with like white and gold embroidery on it. And she walks up to you and she says, "You appear to be lost. Can I assist you in some way?"
Actually, I think I'm finally where I want to be.
Welcome.
This may sound weird, but a couple nights ago, I saw a glowing orb, and I followed it into the woods. I know it doesn't sound like the best idea, but I did it. Can't explain it. I was just entranced with it. Turned into what appeared to be a unicorn. Pranced into the river and just dove head first, disappeared, and out came this flower. And then I hand over the flower to her.
Okay. You notice as you hand over the flower to her that you have very, very gently been led from where you were standing in the entryway. You are sitting in a warm, incense-filled sitting room. You already have a cup of tea in your hand. You're not even sure how you got it.
This is lovely.
you only notice it when you hand the Narcissus over to Ovate Bryndin. And so she takes it. She sort of appraises a little bit. She takes a sort of a deep smell from it, and she hands it back to you. And she says, "A unicorn, you say? Tell me, what is your name?"
My name is Borax B Speaker.
Well, Borax, are you yourself a druid?
I mean, I don't like to put labels on things, but yes. I think I am.
And I'm assuming that you've at least heard of the god Myaliki, correct?
Well, yes. I mean, I grew up praying to my Aliki, so you would say I'm familiar.
Sure. Yes. It is. It's incredibly uncommon for Myaliki to present himself to followers. But even though that doesn't sound like what transpired here, even such a close approximation of an appearance, I don't think I've heard of one at all in my, what is it? It's several of your lifetimes.
But it does seem genuine.
This. Where were you when you found this flower?
We were on the edge of the woods. I was supposed to be watching over with my keeping watch of my friends, but like I said, I was just entranced by the light. I can't say where I followed it for sure. I was just following the light. I could have been walking for 3 days for all I know, or 3 minutes.
Okay. So she kind of continues to appraise the flower and hands it back to you, and she says, wherever this bloom occurred, it was seemingly pretty far from where it transpired, and if it's as long ago as you say it was, then the fact that this bloom is still maintaining its integrity so well is a sign that something otherworldly has occurred. Would you mind spending some time with me recounting this so that we can enter this into our archives?
Not at all. I'd be honored.
So you spend a few hours kind of recounting the story multiple times. Brendan stops you a few times to clarify some things. While looking at a map, you guys nail down that you were in like the foothills of the Sword Mountains when this occurred, which only solidifies that the lion flower is not anywhere near where it should typically bloom. It is a much more sort of arid climate flower.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. And Ove Brendan offers you after you guys finish up. She makes you an offer. She says, "Now this will take some time, but while you do follow my leaki, you don't seem particularly we'll call it proficient in religion."
You would be correct.
Am I correct? Yes. For a small cost, and this is standard. For a small cost and some of your time, we could train you. You could learn a great amount about Myaliki and other druidic orders, if you wish.
Again,
And
I would be honored.
so basically, what Myaliki is, or what? Sorry, Myaliki. Wow. What Ove Brendan is offering you is an opportunity to train with her. She would be your teacher essentially, and over the course of 9-10 days, at 25 gold pieces per 10 days. So, like, if you had the money, you could pay for a week of training. Essentially, you would gain proficiency in the religion skill.
Okay, I do have the money for it'd be 25 gold.
It would be 25 gold. Yeah.
Yep. No, I'll take her up on it.
Okay. All right. Like I said, it's going to take a total of 9 weeks. So at the end of this 10-day, you will have completed one of those. So you'll have 8 left.
Okay.
All right.
And it's gonna be 25 gold per each week.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just removed it.
Cool.
First.
All right. I'm going to move on to Xanalor next. But I want you guys to obviously you guys are going to be staying in the Breeze home over the course of this 10-day. So if there's anything that you guys want to discuss as a group over the course of that 10-day, like any plans you want to try to make for going forward at any point, this is wrote for all downtimes that you guys get. you guys can do that, and we'll basically have that happen, like during these scenes, essentially, right? Like we're kind of like hitting these 10-day beats, but you guys are still seeing each other every day in these 10 days, unless you leave the breeze home.
Okay.
All right. So Xanalor, what do you do during your 10-day off?
Other than like the boring stuff like practice new spells,
Yes.
I'm going to go to some places I'm familiar with here.
Okay. Where would you head to first?
I'm going to go to I want to go by Arroway Manor.
Okay. And for how are you moving about the city? Like kind of describe a little bit about like your tactics in going to these places and stuff like that.
I'm cloak up, like hood over my face as much as possible.
Okay.
And I'm trying to walk normally, like just anybody else.
Sure.
But kind of keeping an eye behind me.
Okay. All right. So you approach Airway Manor, and it looks. How long has it been since the last time you were here?
25 years.
25 years. So you you arrive at the it's very large. It's in the sort of the Blue Lake district surrounding Castle Never, given your family's former station in Neverwinter. It's a large sort of a stately like large brick building. It has like a large brick wall around it. The building itself, though, it doesn't look exactly as you remember it. It's been some time since you were here. It seems like over time the building stopped being tended to so much, and it has sort of not necessarily fallen into disrepair, just disuse. The building is like all the flower beds are empty. They have some weeds growing in them. The cobblestone pathways leading like up to the front doors and around the estate itself are, as you walk through it, you see they're overgrown with grass and weeds where they were previously well manicured, and ivy has been allowed to begin to climb the eastern side of the building.
Does it seem like anybody? Is it inhabited? Just abandoned?
Go ahead and make a survival check. Yeah.
I don't think I get a plus for that. Nope, 11.
11. It doesn't look like anyone currently inhabits the home. There is like a sort of like a really weathered sort of notice of foreclosure on the front door. And then like below that is another slightly less weathered, but still weathered notice as like a sort of a notice of is it condemnation? Would that be the word?
It was condemned.
Yes, the building has been condemned. There's like a notice on there that says, posted by, honorably and dutifully posted by the offices of the Stewards of Neverwinter.
I'm gonna try the front door to see if it opens.
Okay. Go ahead and make a. Actually, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception, I think, is 11. It's a 10.
A 10. Okay. All right. So you kind of you finish your lap around the estate, and you go in you go to the front door, and you just sort of as you're reading the notices, you like place your hand on the front door, and like the weight of your hand kind of pushes it open. And as you push it open, sort of the breeze blows some like leaves and debris that had gathered in the formerly pretty like a large ornate kind of entryway. There's like a nice marble tiles leading off in different directions from this room. There were formerly decorations on mantles and tables that were very. There were family heirlooms that were quite expensive. Those have gone missing, and there is a sort of a staircase leading up from this into the upper floors.
Basically, I want to do a round of the place and see if there's anyone or anything other than just no one's been here in forever.
Okay. So as you go through, you see in like the upper areas there were signs of a fire and that someone had stayed here. It looks like that stuff has also long since been abandoned. You notice that along the southern side of the inside of the home, there's what looks like a lot of water damage, and you see that maybe that's potentially why the building was condemned. The floorboards along the southern side of the house, they creak quite a bit more than they used to. The whole building seems to, like as you're walking around it, you're not sure if it's just because it's how long since you've been here, or if it's just like the building being old. It feels almost like every room you walk into or every hallway you walk down, the walls kind of like lean in on you.
Better than oozing blood.
So I'm gonna, like, on my way out, I'm gonna
Mhm.
take the notices off the door.
Okay.
And just close the door, take them with me.
Okay. All right. Are you heading anywhere in particular? Or are you just sort of removing the?
For day one, yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
That is 12.
12. Okay. All right. So that's day one. That's you visiting Arrowway Manor. We're going to. So are there other places that are you going to go over the course of the 10-day?
Yes.
Are you going to go to sorry, all of the places that you talked to me about earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So where do you go to on the next day then, or the next place you go to?
The Winking Whale.
Okay. All right. So the Winking Whale is a it actually stands like over the Driftwood Tavern. Like if you're coming into port, you see the Driftwood Tavern right along the port, but then you also see above it. Anytime you look at the Driftwood Tavern from port, you see the Winking Whale. It is it's a much nicer joint. It's probably along the same lines as the Winged Wyvern, as far as upscaleness. It's still a tavern, but it is it's still smoke stained because of just the those are the things that people do in taverns. Do you so as you go up to the Winking Whale, there's a sort of a guard, and he asks you. He's like, name.
You asked my name.
Yeah, I got to check the list. If you're not on the list, you gave me 2 gold.
I'm on the list. And I point to like a name right in the middle of his list.
Make a deception check.
Good thing I'm good at that. 15.
15. Okay. He looks at the list where your finger touched it. He goes, you'll come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen you in here before, but I don't think this person ever comes. I think
That's me.
This is you.
Yes. I usually
You're-
come later at night.
Oh, okay. Well, by all means, then, Mister
Habersham?
yeah, how do you say this, sir?
I usually don't. Other people say it to me.
Well, Mister, head in. So you walk into the Winking Whale. There are it's like a slightly more upscale version of the Winged Wyvern, but certainly more upscale than the typical taverns around the sort of port area of Neverwinter. Definitely more so than some of the places you saw, like when you were in the Tower District. You see people are much more well dressed. There's hearty laughter. There's certainly no feats of strength going on in here. There's no arm wrestling at the tables. There's nobody throwing daggers at a target. And you see a group of people at the table. It's sort of like, it's not in the middle, but it's centrally located, but off like closer to the actual bar top. And you see someone. It's a middle-aged human male. He's kind of speaking with some other nobles, and you hear him just like talking, and every once in a while you see one of these nobles, like they're like really hammering home a point. You just see him just like silently nodding along, and he looks vaguely familiar. And then you see him, as the conversation at their table kind of hits like one of those natural lulls that just sort of happen in between topics. You see him start to look around the bar.
I try to get out of his eye line. If I could find like a table in the corner.
Okay. Go ahead. Make a stealth check.
Oh boy. 7.
7. Okay. So you kind of like you pop your hood back up, having come into this nice establishment. Obviously you don't have something on your head, but you pull your hood back up and you kind of make sure you pull it past your face, and you kind of dart off to this table, and you have a seat and you sit sort of facing away from him. And you pick up a fork or a knife, sorry, and you look at it, and you check the reflection behind you.
Yeah.
And you see him kind of looking in your direction for a moment. He like shakes his head, and then he goes back to his conversation.
Okay. Yeah, then just for the duration there, I'm just gonna take in the atmosphere and memories.
Okay. All right. So you spend the evening reminiscing. Do you order food or drink or anything like that?
Leave him in there for now.
Drinks.
Drinks. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's have you deduct 3 copper from your money.
Okay.
Do you have any copper currently?
Not specifically.
Not specifically. Do you have any silver yet?
I just have the gold.
Okay. So go ahead and like deduct 1 gold.
Okay.
Add 9 silver, and then subtract, and then you'll have 7 copper pieces left after paying the 3, and that'll cover your evening of drinks.
Okay.
And yeah, as you kind of as you sit there and just sort of take in the atmosphere, reminisce a bit, you don't even notice when it happened necessarily, but you kind of look back over your shoulder and you see that the man has left. That table is currently empty, and you see another group of traveling like merchants head over towards that table and take a seat.
Then if I don't recognize anybody else at that point, I'll leave.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, you don't see anyone else that you know. Go ahead, make another perception check for me as you leave.
I roll a lot of 11s today. That is an 11.
An 11?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you don't notice anything. So go ahead and what's the next beat on your path here?
The last one would be what did I call it?
Going to Fletcher's Point?
Fletcher's Point.
Okay.
Take a seat on the bench there and just pop out the journal and write about the places I just visited.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you have a seat. Fletcher's Point, of course, being a small, it's a couple. It's a small stand of trees right before the Dolphin Bridge that leads back from Blue Lake into Protector's Enclave. Sort of serves as like the last stand of higher class before re-entering the rest of the middle class society. It's got a large shady tree with a couple of benches. And yeah, so you just you kind of journal. I think this is when you would notice too that there were some arcane symbols in here that you didn't recognize from before. And those would be from your level up. Those would be like the sort of instructions for the 3 new cantrips. All right. Let's switch over to Stock. What do you do, Stock, during your 10-day?
For the most part, I'm gonna be sleeping during the days, and I'm gonna be spending my nights out, unknown to everybody else where the fuck I'm going. But it's gonna be either within the city or outside of the city, spending a good deal of my time out in the woods, practicing my martial arts and just continuing furthering my practice and trying to keep myself centered and enjoying the expanses of nature, getting to, for a change, to take my armor off and breathe a little.
Sure. Okay. And then Nevis, we had kind of talked, and this is something that Stock and I had kind of talked about too, about something that the two of you might potentially work on together. And I think that this would be a good opportunity for you two to kind of talk that out a little bit.
Certainly. So I look over to Stock and I mentioned that I believe I have some ideas on how I might actually be able to improve your armor. I had communed with Hephaestus a couple of times to get some crafting ideas, and if you want, I can spend some time at my forge as well as here at the Breeze Home to take care of that for you. I know you had expressed interest in anything I might do to it. It's a very unique situation you have going on with your armor there right now, and I do think I can actually make some beneficial improvements to it for you.
Well, I would gladly like to take you up on that offer. What would you require from me? Financial compensation I will gladly give you. I will gladly aid you in
Well,
the process.
normally that would be a very appealing prospect to me, but I couldn't help but notice how adept you are at your various fighting techniques and at just fighting in general. And I'm very interested in gaining proficiencies with more martial weapons. And I would be very interested to find out if you are interested in trading knowledge and skill for knowledge and skill.
I would not feel right just trading my skills for what the service you are doing to me. I would prefer to either assist you in the process or financially compensate you while training you.
Well, why don't we, if you're okay with it, why don't we go ahead with the training for the improvement, and then when I get done, you can assess the finished product, and you can we could either call it even, or you could pay according to how you feel the improvement went for you.
That is an agreement I will gladly follow through with.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So, as far as upgrading Stock's armor goes, Nevis, essentially what you'll be able to accomplish, and this is based on the creating an item rules. Essentially, it will take you 9 days of the 10-day and 17 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces. But you will be able to improve Stock's armor from his standard leather armor into studded leather armor. It would basically bump it up to the next type up. So you guys know that is half of the price difference between leather armor and studded leather armor. Because of your proficiencies, Nevis, you're able to create things. You're able to craft these items for half of their gold cost. But because you're using Stock's current leather armor, I'm not going to that's going to basically be a material component of that you're not having to purchase and use or make. So that's why it's basically dropping the price of what you're making by the price of the leather to make it studded. And so basically what this winds up looking like at the end, Stock, as you sort of appraise your armor, what Nevis has done with the guidance of Hephaestus, Hephaestus,
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus. With the guidance of Hefeweizen, so your armor on the outside, Stock, it looks the same as it did before, and you kind of you look at it and you kind of raise an eyebrow and give obviously not that Nevis can see this, but you give him sort of a quizzical look. But then you start lifting up the different flaps of the boiled leather armor, and you see that underneath each flap of the leather armor, Nevis has been able to fasten a small, flexible steel plate. So the steel itself is thin enough and flexible enough that it doesn't impair your movement, but it is sturdy enough to provide the sort of improved support that studded leather would, without the appearance of studded leather. So he's been able to improve your armor without affecting the aesthetic.
Okay. I shall add that to the inventory real fast.
Also, nice work, Nevis.
Coming. Okie dokie. Why, thank you, sir. In that time frame, I'm actually gonna give Nevis 20 gold for the work he's done.
All right. Then as far as covering the cost of the increase, DM, how do you want to handle that?
I don't know if I understand. Because he gave you more than it would cost you to make it.
Actually, it's gonna be
No,
25.
that
25.
part I understand. Okay, you said it was 17, and how many?
17 gold, 5 silver
Five.
in materials. And then he
I
gave you
25.
25.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And so because you have your own forge, you have the equipment and proficiency with it, that's why it doesn't require a roll for this. It's basically time and material components, of which both you had the availability to get.
And in the process of, wanting to upgrade my armor, you're only getting single components at a time. I'm never taking the armor off completely. I'm giving you a piece, and it's, once it's upgraded, it's that weird trade-off that doesn't make sense of why wouldn't you just give me the whole armor at once?
No, actually, I was going to suggest that because being an armor wearer myself, I completely know that I'm naked without it feeling.
Okay. So now what I want to do is Stock, how would you go about training Nevis? So Nevis, you've seen him wield a mace. He knows how to club the shit out of something. What's your first lesson to him with a bladed weapon, which is what martial weapons are? And what is your like method of doing that? Like, do you just like, spar with him with your glaive and he uses your greatsword? Like, do you like, use like wooden sticks kind of to like work on the footwork and stuff like that? Like, how does that look?
So the first few days are actually going to be obnoxious, and they're going to be spent without weapons at all. This is going to
Okay.
be very much kind of Karate Kid, wax on, wax off.
I know. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And it's just obnoxious. Like, if you combine Karate Kid and kind of that weird training montage from Mulan, where it's just, goofy shit like catching fish out of the river and jumping across poles and getting your balance and getting yourself centered.
And getting down to business to defeat the
Yep.
Huns.
Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
I understand discipline, and I comply completely.
Yes, Nevis, this is not the first time that someone has essentially held your hand through learning a new craft. Stock, you recall during your training over the course of this 10-day, you're swapping out pieces of armor for the upgraded versions and giving Nevis the next piece. And you're meditating pretty heavily during the days when he's working on your equipment, and you're thinking back to your early days of your training and recalling that though they did form the foundations of everything you know how to do now, you recall the frustration and the anger and the wax on the hand, and all of the embarrassments that you went through being someone who relied entirely before that point on their strength and being taught the sort of finesse of moving like flowing water and stuff like that in order to strike true with the blade. And so you remember, you meditate and you remember these lessons, and you sort of boil them down to their base components, and you're surprised over the course of this 10-day as Nevis exhibits none of the frustrations that you exhibited when you were learning these things. Compared to you, he seems to be someone who, based on what you were expecting because of your own history and remembering of how these lessons were imparted onto you, it almost seems like he likes it, the vindictive son of a bitch.
I am perplexed.
Okay, so now, was there anything during the course of the 10-day that you guys wanted to do together, like any day trips, any discussions that you wanted to have based on things that have happened already? The time is yours.
I just want to make note that as I've been giving Nevis pieces of armor, again, he's still not seeing any of the stitching that would be usual to padding underneath armor. And with the occasional sparring we do between meditation sessions and doing all of the obnoxious bullshit stuff, he is making note that while fighting, my arms definitely seem to drop a lot lower than they should be, and it just doesn't fit, and I lose that kind of stocky upper torso, and this weird kind of proportion where my hands are almost hanging down to my knees.
Okay.
So obviously, during our training, I noticed that for some reason it's extremely hard to defend when we're sparring against stock, and surprises me a lot of the times, obviously. But the only way to get better is by training with someone who is much better than you, and it just gives me a better perspective and more admiration on his abilities. And I'm glad that he's agreed to train me.
Okay.
But you definitely make note that as I see, I know he's giving me shit to work with. Shut up. But seeing that you're picking this stuff up as fast, you don't seem to have the same frustrations I have. You notice that there's almost this underlying rage every now and again when we spar, and it's just primal. It's not something you would expect from an average person. It's almost on that verge of being barbaric. And it's just weird because I'll stop and then just say we need to meditate now and just sit down, shut up, and just sit there.
And I take those times when stock does that to head to cover and check my pants first, clean them out if they need it, and just make notes of that.
Okay.
All right, I'm done
I have
now.
like a little tally sheet. How many times stock has made me shit myself, and I have little half marks.
Xanalor, what do you do like on those nights or days, depending on like where you're going for the day? What do you do when you're at the Breeze home?
I think that's where I would take the time to practice spells because I'm only seen by people who already know I can do some things.
Okay, sure. Is there anything particular that may have seen you? I mean, you don't have to disclose this if you don't want to, but is there anything particular they would have seen you practicing or doing during the week?
I mean, I would probably test a couple things on them. So like cause fear or mirror image, I would test out on them to see if they actually worked.
Okay.
Like the things that aren't going to hurt them.
Yeah.
I think fear is gonna hurt us a little bit.
Physically. You're just afraid of me for like a minute.
Yeah, it's like every once in a while during the course of the 10-day, like you walk past Xanalor and you look at him like, what the that guy's weird. And you just like instinctively just like head to the other side of the breeze zone. Like it's the other side of the room, or like you go to your room, you just like don't want to be anywhere near. But it's every once in a while. Every other time you're like, oh yeah, Xanalor, what's up, man?
So I have a question for stock then. Do you have obviously have something covering your face, some sort of helm or some sort of item like that? Does that get upgraded as well?
Nope, you never see me without it.
Okay,
Yeah.
just curious.
That's a piece you never got to touch. And when I took the main chest pieces off, I did it underneath a cloak, and you never saw what was under the cloak.
He's a never nude.
Yep.
There's literally dozens of him.
Are there cutoffs? Can I check for cutoffs?
So obviously I make note of this also, and one of the things I put down as a side quest is to actually see what stock space looks like.
Okay. All right.
Not disrespectfully, of course. Just not weird like trying to pop open when your sister's in the shower or anything like that.
So on a scale of J. Jonah Jameson to Norman Osborn, how badly do you want to see Spider-Man's face?
Like I said, not disrespectfully, not enough that it would cause me to try to be deceitful about it or anything like that. I obviously want to respect his privacy, but at the same time, there's the beginning threads of some gnawing curiosity.
Okay. Obviously, I know Xanalor, you have some business you'd like to not some business, but you have some you have a talk that you'd like to have with vendor.
For Shad? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously we can't do that right now. I was planning on kind of next time he plays with us, I was planning on hitting his 10-day beats during then, so we could do that then as well.
Yep.
Borax, how about you?
He's here, man. It's wow, like everything's copacetic, man.
Like,
Is he
Party on,
John?
Darth. Yeah.
Borax, is there anything you'd like to do or discuss with any of the members of the party before we move on?
Not really. Not that I can think of. I guess we should probably discuss what our next steps are. So guys, what are you guys doing after we hear back from this person? Do we have any urgent matters to get to, or you guys want to keep hanging out, or seem like pretty decent gents to me, man.
Well, being someone who's been ensconced in a business type situation for quite a while now, I'm actually kind of picking up the flair for this traveling / adventuring kind of stuff. So I'll definitely hang with you guys.
I do need more gold.
I think that's we all need, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I should.
Well,
I'm gonna. Go ahead.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys. These weird animal things are kind of making me nervous. I think, based on what happens next, maybe we should try to get to the bottom of that. Like, I know nature, and I know squids with swords in their heads aren't normal.
Oh, those animals.
Yeah. Not the donkeys, they're fine.
Did you try talking to those?
Yes, and it scratched the shit out of me, and I almost died. But yes, if you guys would please help me restore some normacy, I'd be greatly appreciative.
How would we do that?
Go from town to town and
Check the
demand
bounty
gold
board.
to demand gold to kill their demons.
Maybe we should find out where they're coming from.
And that's why I need you guys.
Yeah, I'm
I
all
may be
for
wise, but I'm not
that
smart.
one.
We take an adventure to the bounty board.
What is this inventory, Corey?
So that is those are the items that are currently available for purchase, like in the city shops.
Oh.
Okay.
So if there is anything that you guys would like to purchase, then you can obviously do that.
Question about war picks that I've run into before. Which modifier do you use when you attack with them? Like, is it Dex or Strength?
I do believe they're Strength.
Okay.
I can't really see a pick
that would
being
make
an
sense.
S weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a good use of money, but I'm going to use pretty much the last of my gold to buy a pull of collapsing.
Okay.
I feel like as a short person, I could really use a pull wolf.
Of collapsing.
Okay. All right. So in order to do this, so there is, basically, what I'm assuming kind of happens, like in my head canon, Borax not being from Neverwinter, you just kind of ask one evening or morning, where does somebody go to buy stuff?
I haven't really spent much time here.
And Nevis, you actually know quite well where most people go to buy their stuff, and that's they go see Aldine. Nevis, you know Aldine to be sort of the local conscription merchant. You have done several commissions for him over the course of a few years. Essentially, many of the tradesmen in town have conscription contracts essentially with Aldine, where you don't have to worry about trying to sell things to people and haggle and all that stuff. Aldine takes care of that for you. Aldine has a knack for people where you have a knack for stuff.
Is his wife's name Paula?
His name is actually A-L apostrophe capital D-E-E-N.
Apostrophe. That's what I did wrong.
Okay, well, then off to Aldine.
All right.
Aldine, yeah.
Um,
Is that where the inventory list was from?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, the way that we're making this work in fiction is Aldine's stock will rotate. And basically everything that you can buy in town reasonably will be from Aldine. If you need other stuff, particularly like a specific item, you can ask him for it, and he will either like commission one of the workers, or he will try to locate the item. It will require some money up front to make sure that you don't pay for this, you don't ask for this thing and he goes through the trouble of procuring it and then you don't buy it. But so Aldine's shop is it's a pretty big building. Xenalor, it actually almost rivals I'm forgetting the names, Arrowway Manor in size. Not in construction, obviously, but it's a pretty big building. Outside, there's just a big sign, big like wooden sign on it. It's very decorative. It just says Aldine's, and so you go inside, and there are items on display. There are like some like taxidermied animals like on the wall. There's a nice like dire bear skin rug on the floor that takes up almost the entirety of the main sales area. And then behind the counter is a sort of like a honey skinned bald-headed but dark. You could tell that his hair is dark because his eyebrows are like jet black, and he's got a well-kept beard that is also jet black. And he's wearing like long like purple and gold robes. And he's gone to the trouble to actually have like sort of like the Jafar style robe where it like has like points kind of that come off of the shoulder. So like it makes him appear like more wide. And he turns to you as you come in. There's a little bell above the door, the ding 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 ding, and he turns. He goes, my friends, welcome to Aldine's. How can I help you today?
I'm just gonna start randomly playing with things, dinging the bell, and then eventually I'm gonna grab the pull of collapsing. It's just I'm gonna somehow hit the mechanism, and it just springs out and gets giant. And go, this, I want this.
As you like do the pull of collapsing, like you hear like a thunk as it like smacks the wall at the other side of the building because you're like like the space isn't really conducive to a instant 10-foot pull. You see him just watching you, just like.
And how do I make it smaller again?
Aldine, he says, one moment, and he like pulls out this big book and just like puts it on the counter, and he like flips through, and he looks, and he says, looks like the command word is I don't know. What do you want the command word to be?
We'll make it Clive, like it's
Clive.
from Fate.
The command word is Clive. And as he says this, the pole just like in your hands. Let me double check on that really quick. I just want to see. I don't think it does, but it might require attunement. Just want to double check that.
Let me see.
Come on.
It does not say anything about attunement on D&D Beyond.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah, speak a command word. Yep. All right.
Okay, so then what's the command word you're going to use to make it into a pole?
Come on.
Owen.
All right. Okay, so yeah, you collapse the pole and you kind of trot it up to Aldine. Sort of proud of yourself for finding such a really neat thing. And he goes, so it's the pole of collapsing that has caught your attention, my friend. Well, I can let it go to you for a price of 25 gold.
Ugh.
Sure.
Sure.
Why not? It's a best rod I've ever seen.
All right, then it's a deal. And he pulls out like another like
names are from
equally
fate.
thick tome and like slams it. It like slams itself on the counter because of its weight. And he flips through it. You see that it's actually a business ledger. So he goes, all right, that is a pole of collapsing, 25 gold pieces. And your name, Master Halfling?
Borax.
Borax. All right.
B speaker.
Well,
And do I
my
get
friend.
that manual that you had?
Oh, this is just sort of a repository of my inventory. I don't know why I went Willy Wonka
So
there.
I don't
Apparently.
get that.
No, this is not a user manual, so to speak, my friend. This is just an inventory of my shop. It's merely had the description of the product, including the command word.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Well, I'm out of gold, so I'll let you talk to the wealthier gentleman.
Nevis, you see Aldine kind of look up from Borax, who had previously caught his attention by swinging a 10-foot pole around in the shop. He says, Nevis, my friend, how are you today? What brings you to my shop? Do you have things to give me for sale?
Unfortunately, sir, I do not today. I have been taking a slight break from the forge and my creating. Been doing some, but it's very specific. So no, I'm sorry, I cannot increase the amount of your tremendous wares at this point in time.
Oh, no apologies necessary. Sometimes self-exploration is the inspiration for innovation. My brain is just Willy Wonking the hell out of this guy, and I don't know why.
That's who he is now. I want to look at the leather armor
Okay.
and ask, do you know anyone who can make this look better?
Well, my friend, that depends. What do you mean?
Like what I'm wearing, but not 40 years old.
Are you currently wearing like some like
it was like
sort
ornate.
of travel worn leather armor?
Yeah, it was ornate like 30 years ago.
I smack him upside the head and point at Nevis.
Well, Stock, he's talking more about sort of like
design
leather
work.
workers embellishments.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know, but Gibbs head slapped to the back of his head like, don't you think this is slightly insulting?
He does metal.
I flash him the plates under my armor. Go, leather!
Is it pretty?
It does look like it's well done, but you do see that the adjustments that have been made to the armor are in fact metal.
He does pretty work. No damage to the appearance.
Yes. Let me think, my friend. I believe if you would give me 7 gold up front, I could have this piece commissioned for you. I will have one of my leather workers will get to work on it. If you would like to leave a description of what you're looking for, we can make sure that gets done. It will probably take a bit of time. So if you'd give us um, 2 weeks, I can make sure that my finest leather worker is on the case.
Okay, so I'm gonna give him it's 17 then, because 10 plus 7.
So it'll be 7 up front, and it'll just
Okay.
be 5 after.
Okay, so 7.
So it should
Oh,
be
alright.
it'll be a total of 12 gold. It'll be like 2 gold for the embellishments. Basically.
7 now and 5 later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And outside the shop door, you just see Borax go, Owen, Clive, Owen, Clive. Getting $25 or 25 gold worth out of that rod.
You actually see out the window as one of these times when the pole extends, it winds up whacking somebody in the side of the head as they're walking down the street, and they like drop what they were carrying and they pick it up and just kind of like,
I'll give them a silver piece. I'm sorry, new pole.
The daggers that they were firing in your direction quickly cease after the silver piece.
I'm also gonna buy a tinderbox.
Okay. That's probably good because I don't think anybody had one. Right?
I do have one, but I want another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, I've got one as well.
Oh, okay. What did we talk about last time that nobody had?
Cartographer kit.
No, it was when you guys were on your way to the Crypt Garden Forest.
I didn't have a bedroll.
That's true, yeah.
But I made one.
Maybe a mess kit? Nope, I got one of those too.
Yeah, no, I don't remember what it was. I'll have to look back.
I'm sure there's something. So that's 5 silver?
Yes.
Did I read that right? Okay.
Yes. He pulls out the book, or he turns a page in the book, the ledger that he wrote Borax's name in, and he takes note of the things that you've purchased. He said, and sir, your name, my friend?
It doesn't matter.
I need to put a name with something.
Borax B Speaker.
He starts to like writing. He just like looks up and like just shakes his head and writes it anyways. He puts like in parentheses, he puts like friend next to it. That way, if he needs to find you for anything, he'll just find Borax. And Borax, where's your friend, my friend? Okay, did anyone else want to purchase anything from Aldine?
Not right now, unless,
Okay.
well, I do want to ask, when the proficiency kicks in from the training I got from stock. At that point in time, I would like to have fashioned my own battle axe.
Okay.
So I would assume that I have limited but some iron supplies back at my forge that I can make that from, or do I have to look around for somebody here that I might purchase that metal from?
So that's sort of like mechanically speaking, the price basically that you would wind up paying for it, which is I'll have to
buy a fully crafted one for 10 gold. So I'm assuming that I could buy the metal for less than that.
Yeah, it would be 5 gold pieces for the materials, and basically that's like sort of balanced between like things that you need to pick up and stuff that you already have, essentially, you know.
Okay.
And so you don't yet have the proficiency in martial weapons. That is going to be something.
I understand that. Okay. I just, by the time I do get it,
yeah,
because it's going to take me time to craft a weapon.
Right. So I feel like probably this weapon is something that you could really take your time on. You know, you're really pouring yourself into the details with this piece a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. I want it to be ornate.
Yeah. So this is going to be like, you know, the battle axe of Hephaestus. You know, it's this is yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be time and a labor of love.
You have me on camera?
No, I don't actually. Sorry.
I do.
Okay.
I can.
Well, I just I was thinking that inlaid into the design of the battle axe, I would like to have the symbol of Hephaestus, which of course is, could be any of a couple of different things, but I like the hammer, so I'm gonna interweave that into the design.
Okay.
And then of course I've come up with my own symbol, as most crafters do.
Sure.
I was gonna show you, but I could just take a picture of it and send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not getting the.
And then we'll see. Once you
yeah.
see it, we'll see if Stock seems to be able to find it on his armor.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Stock? Was there anything you wanted to purchase from Aldine?
Nope.
Okay. Cool beans. All right. So sort of near the end of your guys' 10-day, one morning you hear another knock at the door, and it is once again the slight young man, File Redfoot. This time he doesn't have a summons for you to report somewhere. He asks you if you'll come with him. Varen has requested that you meet him at the the Mages College of Neverwinter. So please, sirs, if you'll follow me, collect your whatever it is that you'd like to bring, and we'll leave as quickly as you're ready.
And a glaive starts making its way out the door without waiting for him to move.
He like dives out of the way. Ah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys
We're off to see the wizards.
Yeah. So as I mentioned last time, you guys, the Mages College of Neverwinter is on a island, sort of like a lighthouse in a way, and it takes a small. It's like a ferry that runs back and forth. That's really only it's operated by a ferryman, but for the most part, it only transports people to and from the college. So it's pretty reliably there. Actually, it actually make more sense to be like one of those like chain boat things, like in A Knight's Tale, how they cross the river. And they would have like two boats, so like people could come back and forth, so you wouldn't have to like wait for someone to get on the ferry in Neverwinter to come to the Mages College if you wanted to leave the Mages College, because always be sitting there for like this indeterminate amount of time, like okay.
Seems very bureaucratic of him. Sounds about right.
But yeah, so you guys get on this ferry with File, and you make your way towards the College of Neverwinter. The College of Neverwinter itself is like I said, it stands alone, kind of just outside of the bay, and it has like a central tower that resembles a lighthouse, but it also has like many other towers, and like there are sort of spiraling structures that rise up out in between the walls, like sort of like statues and monument sort of looking things, but they don't have like windows or anything on them like some of the towers do. As you approach, it really becomes much more monolithic as you sort of come to appreciate the scope of this building, the size of it, the scale. And so you guys go in and File. Or you make the landing. You go up there's a small path that leads to the doors proper of the Mages College, and you go inside, and inside is it's deceptively open. You see overhead is a false ceiling that actually depicts the outdoor conditions, kind of like the dining hall in Hogwarts, because I think that's really cool. There's also like sort of like there's pages running to and fro. You see a couple mages. There's mages of all races. There's a couple, like there's a few drow, there's elves, there's even a few, a handful of dwarves. You haven't seen any half orcs, but you see many of the civilized races are here in the building. You see some of the scholars sort of arguing back and forth. You see another one just kind of like watching as he smirks because he thinks that they're all dumb.
Dad
You
dropped
see
out.
like, did you drop out of the Discord too?
No.
No. I
Okay.
actually had to restart
Roll20?
Roll20 because it stopped on me.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
I'm still with you.
Okay, cool. You see like some like blue and green like firefly looking like bits of arcane energy kind of like swirl to, and sometimes it sort of like propelling a piece of parchment down the hallway. And File sees you guys kind of like stop and like sort of take in this very strange environment. He goes, sorry, sirs. Please continue to follow me. Varen said it was important, so I can take you on a tour later if you want. And so he kind of like corrals you guys again, and he leads you through this entryway and into a series of hallways. They always seem to like curve weirdly. Like it almost seems like every hallway that you're in like curves like up and to the left. Like you'll turn right, and then all of a sudden the hallway's curving up and to the left again. It doesn't really seem to make much sense. Spatially, it's very strange, but you're like, it's one of those things where you're like, fucking mages. And eventually you come to a room with a large like a dark wood door with an ornate handle, and above the door is a placard that reads headmaster. And you open the door, or File opens the door, and he motions you inside. And sitting behind a large desk piled high with parchments and books is Varen.
Is that up and to the left a Seinfeld reference?
It wasn't, but
I guess
just,
it's back and to the left, isn't it?
yeah. That is one magic loogie. But yeah, so Varen is behind the desk. He hears you guys come in. He says, first things first. I won't forget this time. He pulls out. He opens a drawer in his desk, and he pulls out four small satchels again. I hope you guys are keeping track of these pouches too, because like you guys are like getting a bunch of coin purses basically. Then you can use them for things like Xantor dirt.
Yeah.
But another pouch each, giving you 10 gold each. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's gonna be 18 gold each.
Oh
Hey
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that is from your guys' experiences, that is more information than you've typically. That's more money than you typically heard of for people being paid for information. Even information brokers don't typically cost that much. So like
We're not
you're
your typical information brokers.
right.
New
So
business plan.
you're
Yeah.
like you like as a character, like being in world, like you understand the significance of the amount of money you've been presented for some pieces of paper.
But we don't feel like they're like saying there's more attached to this gold.
Right.
Okay.
Because of the implication.
Right.
I've got 3 pouches.
All right. So Varen invites you in. He says, these are certainly swankier digs than we've typically met in, but I'm glad that you're here. I require your assistance once more. I believe that in working with some of our scholars and the council, that I have discovered a lead. There is an artifact, and this exists sort of in a solitary state, deep in the swamp, in the high moor. There is a very powerful artifact there that not much is known about, but we believe that Hildraith and Xantor may be attempting to get it next, given their sort of gambit to get the amulet, the white amulet of burning sight. I I hope that you'll help me once more and travel to the High Moor to retrieve this magical item before Hildraith and Xantor can get their hands on it.
Well, what is this artifact?
The artifact is known only as Brew. It is known as a very powerful magic artifact, but as far as records of Brew go, it's BRUE. As far as records of Brew go, its actual capabilities are not well known. It has been.
Do you know what it looks like, or is there rumors of what it might look like?
Everything that I've seen says that it says the box. So I'm not sure if Brew is the box, if Brew is inside the box. I can't say.
Okay, we can work with that.
I should say one of the reasons why I'm hoping you'll set out quickly is
What's in the box?
one of the reasons why I hope you'll set out quickly is that there have been reports that we've been gathering that magic users have been sort of flocking to areas where we believe that Hildraith and Xantor may be operating from. Now, we've been working quite hard to triangulate the location, but we have yet been unsuccessful, which is why I'm asking for your discretion and your expediency in this quest, because I worry that they are going to be making
Both of
a
those
move
things
soon.
can be bought.
Of course, you will be compensated for your efforts, particularly your successes. I should. There is a small lizard folk settlement that stands vigil on the path to the temple. It's known as Dezut. Please, if you pull out your map, I can show you where that is. And so, let me move this here so I can do it. I'm going to switch you guys back over to the Sword Coast page. I'm going to mark on your map where Dezut is.
How do you spell it?
Dezutte. My word, can I make that any bigger? There we go. Too big.
Too big. Where is it?
Holy crap, I need to zoom in so I can see this and do this. Jeez. All right, so there we go.
So as you're doing this, Nevis asks, fuck it, his name's
Varen.
Varen. I knew I was close. So you are convinced that Xantor is still at large, yes?
At this time, we believe, given the information on the parchment that you provided us, Nevis, that the whereabouts of Xantor are currently unknown, but he is in fact at large. We believe him to be working with Hildraith, given the circumstances really surrounding their departure from the college.
So what did we kill?
I believe that you killed a golem that was a representation of him. So if you look on the Sword Coast map up in the north, above the Evermoors, that's straight to the west of Neverwinter.
I have boxed it.
Yeah, there is it's in between Nesme and the Mithril Hall. So yeah, that's where Dezut is.
And where on this map is Neverwinter again?
It is like the northern coastal area before it turns all white and snowy.
I see a little blue mark. Is that?
That's Dezut.
The box.
This-
a little blue mark.
this is Neverwinter?
About
Yeah,
here.
there was
Okay.
one right there.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's a blue
For
mark
some
there?
reason I thought
Yeah,
it
but
was.
when
There
I got
was.
rid of it.
Oh.
I thought it was lower for some reason.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Neverwinter is almost always winter.
It's kind of like that Greenland situation.
They're fans of irony.
It's not quite as cold as Luskin, but
Neverwinter.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess there isn't any reason why we can't depart at first
Yeah.
light, or even today, if it's
Our
early
Second
enough.
arrangements
light?
have been profitable, and they've been good to us. So let's do this thing.
Scott, why are you? Who is putting Neverwinter under Neverwinter?
I'm doing it.
I said the colors kept changing. That
Yep.
was not me.
I can't decide on a color I like.
All right.
Okay.
Can we? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Xanalor. What were you gonna say?
I guess when are we? If we're leaving at first light, is this already night, or do we have a day?
It's you have a day. It's not night yet. Probably a bit before noon still. Because File came and got you right around breakfast.
Okay.
Are we going to be needing to borrow our asses again?
It does appear that way. Yeah.
Okay. So
So we
then
just-
we
Walk hard.
will see.
Walk
It starts with an H. I forget what his
Hartman's Bazaar.
Hartman.
We will respect his authority. Okay, so that's another 5 gold.
Yeah. If you guys want to do the same for the donkeys again, yeah, you can.
5.
Yeah. Would you like to try to get the same donkeys?
No, I want one who wants me for more pineapple.
Same here.
Does he have new ones? Because I would like new ones.
He has
Shuffled them around between us.
he
Borax, make sure they're new.
I'm gonna go
Tell you
around
what,
and
guys,
kick all their legs and do
let's,
that old double tap.
let's take a quick 5-minute break. All right.
Okay.
And
I added a
we'll
mule.
come back and we'll cover that stuff. And yeah, was there and also too before you guys set out, if there was any other questions you wanted to ask Varen? I know last time when you guys got into the forest, you're like, oh, we should have asked this.
Sure.
But yeah, if you can think of anything else during the break, let me know.
Sounds
be right back.
good.
All right.
Should we ask if they want to send someone from the school with us,
Yes.
or do we want to not have that baggage?
We may be
I
held
want the
liable if
baggage.
they die.
Why would we be liable?
Depends on whether it's going to be beneficial NPC or not.
Yes.
We're
We
gonna
can
get,
just ask.
the weakest of the weak, and it's gonna be some like goblin secretary thing that's never left
Yeah.
the college.
They don't have to. They don't have to do any of the fighting. They're just there as like encyclopedia.
that dies when you fart in the wind.
If it's someone who can at least cast some spells at whatever enemies we might find, that might still be helpful.
Let's bring File Redfoot. He seems excitable.
We already got a nice rapport with him.
Mm-hmm. He knows how to dodge. We figured that out already. Forget what I used this drill bit for and what set it goes to. It might be from work.
gentlemen.
Hello.
Yep.
How are we?
Is there anyone near Harper's that sells like torch fuel or something like that?
Torch fuel.
Or oil?
Well, let's see here.
All right.
Yeah, you could probably pick up oil pretty easily. It costs 1 silver piece for a pint. You
Is
get a
that a
flask.
lot?
I would think so.
I've
If
never
you-
thought of oil in
So let's
terms of
see.
proportion.
You can pour a flask of oil on the ground to cover a 5-foot square area, so that seems pretty good.
Yeah.
So I would say
Yeah.
that would probably last for like. What are you trying? Are you trying to like use it to light torches, or
Can I get
can we just like cross that bridge when we get there? I guess.
can I get like
It's just to have.
4 of those? How much
if you
would
want,
that?
if you want it,
That's
4
2
would be
gold?
4 silver pieces. If you want it,
4 silver pieces?
if you want it, it would be 10 for 1 gold.
10 for 1 gold.
Mhm.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I miss stuff.
This section.
I just bought a bunch of oil.
This section of NASA 5e brought to you by Breckenridge Agave Wheat.
That sounds good.
It is
Yeah.
really good.
I was arguing with April over the child support legal bullshit.
Sweet. That sounds like a great time.
She's saying that she wants to contact Fuckwit and be like, hey, did you ever stop this? And I'm like, it's not your responsibility. If he chose to be a moron and not adult, on him.
Right.
So, and she's like, I don't want to be that person. You're not being that person. The court system is.
Right.
Are we still on stream?
Yes, and I don't care.
Just want to point out the valor there.
Oh, I have none of that nor shame left. Thank you, Navy.
All right.
Brought to you by the U.S. Navy, a complete lack of shame and moral compass.
All right. Well, there goes our military sponsorship.
Actually, we just gained a ton more military viewers.
All right. So the trip to Dazut is going to take considerably longer than the trip to the Crypt Garden Forest. Probably just shy of twice as long.
So how long?
So 10 days?
9.
9? Because I think the other trip was 5, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll say it's 10 days to Dazut one way.
All right.
You said 10 days?
10 days, yeah, at a normal pace.
So I guess we should have, or I guess we still can get provisions.
Yeah.
Back to Aldine, or
Yeah.
can we get these? All right.
We can just kind of like hand wave that one though. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Hand waving. I'm the only one who thought that 2 hours of social bullshit didn't feel like 2 hours of social bullshit.
I did find myself not looking at the clock for what that's worth.
Yeah, I thought that the social stuff actually went by. It felt like it went faster than it did.
I want to do one more thing like in the middle of the night before we leave. So
Okay. All right. As far as provisions go, let's see.
Ration.
Rations for a day are 5 silver.
so we want 20 probably,
Yeah.
unless somebody can hunt.
I can try.
So yeah, to completely, it would be 20 to do the complete trip, which would be 10 gold pieces.
I can only add 10 at a time. So you said 10 gold for 20?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're 5 silver pieces each.
All right.
So we just deduct the gold and just call it a wash then by the end of the trip.
10 gold.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Is that
Sweet.
total or each?
Each.
Okay.
I was reading to see if
I am broke
rations.
again.
Well, you should still have like 8 gold, right?
Yeah.
I
We're
got
up
5
8.
gold, 8 silver.
I got
Okay, plus
20.
8.
That poll set me back.
Well, are you counting the 18 that you got from
The information
Baron?
at the college. Yeah.
From Varen.
Because we got the
Oh.
25 and then we got 18.
I did not do the 18. I only did 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm slightly less.
Are
Wait, no, I
we
did. I think
requesting a college envoy to go with us?
I don't
Yeah,
think
we
that's
did
a
talk
bad
about that.
idea.
Yeah, what do you think about that, DM?
So you're asking Varen for a college envoy?
Well, we're
Someone
asking
to
you
just
to think about it as far as, do you want to handle an NPC? Do you think we can get one that's going to be beneficial, not detrimental?
But
Yeah, we're talking about maybe just having File come along.
He's good at dodging.
we just wanted to ask for one. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can handle this in game. All right. So you guys ask Varen if he can send someone along with you, and he gets kind of a concerned look on his face, and he goes, "Listen, I'm trying to play this very, very close to the vest. I've asked your group and your group only, and you are the only ones who know of this expedition. There are things going on right now beyond my control that for my own reasons, I would like to keep this quiet, and I can't send someone from the college along with you. I'm sorry."
I look at Varen and go, "What are you doing in here? This is the headmaster's office, and you are next in line. This does not track."
I am the current acting headmaster of the Mages College of Neverwinter.
Why?
Yeah.
The former headmaster has recently gone missing.
Let's do that quest
And
instead.
you didn't want to tell us about that.
Look, like I said, I'm playing things very close to the vest, compartmentalizing information as best I can. The former headmaster has gone missing. I have been appointed as the acting headmaster, and we believe that it is Hildraith's cult that is to be blamed for the headmaster's disappearance.
Does the headmaster have anything to do with Brugo?
No.
What was this headmaster's name? Did we already get that, or?
The headmaster's name was Remus Salazar.
Did he make any recent enemies before he went missing? Poking his nose?
I am acting under the assumption at this point that the theft of the white amulet of burning sight was a red herring to get us looking in the wrong direction while they removed the headmaster for whatever reason.
I could have told you that.
Then what makes you so sure that Rue is not also a distraction?
Because whether or not the cultists are making their way for Brew, I believe that it could be with the proper amount of study and in my possession, I believe that the Brew could help us in
insight check.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
I don't think anybody's ever mentioned cultists before, have they?
No, they
No,
haven't.
that's
sort of, but yeah.
Oh,
So
now we
this-
get to dig into them for more information.
Yeah. So what was your insight check, Xanilor?
9.
9? Okay. He seems to be telling the truth.
Cool.
His exhaustion is showing.
Actually, yeah, that is Xanilor. We never really talked about that over the course of the 10-day. Was what do you do as far as sleep goes?
I think I've mostly been sleeping. I feel like I'm comfortable enough with the group at the moment, but I'm probably not sleeping great.
Okay, so probably maybe every other night or every couple nights you just stay up all night just to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll say for the time being you do not have a level.
And because I'm back somewhere that I haven't been in a long time.
Right. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, you're looking at Varen's face, and you've been reading faces a lot lately, and you feel like you've got a pretty good line on most people. Varen, he seems tired. He just stressed, but he seems to be telling the truth.
What does his office look like right now?
Well, like I said, right now, it's a decent sized space. It's very warmly lit interior, mostly populated by his large wooden desk that is currently, as I said earlier, like covered in parchments and scrolls and books that he's been, working through to try to find information about Brew. He's still working on finding out information on the monstrosities that you guys have detailed for him, as well as having some people in the college work on that, particularly, not Brew.
Does it look like he's been living in here essentially, or is it just the desk that is disheveled and it looks like he's just inundated with work?
It does not look like someone's been sleeping in here at this time.
Okay.
But yes, I believe that Brew, whether Hildraith and his allies are going for it or not, will be helpful for us in what may be coming. At the very least, we don't want it falling into their hands.
So, what is this
Seems reasonable.
cult?
Well, it's just with Hildraith being as charismatic and emotional as he is, and the group of people that left with him from the college, and this sudden the sudden activity of magic users flocking to areas where we believe that they may be associated or operating from. We believe that there is some sort of cult-like following that he's gained. People who are not necessarily worshipping Hildraith himself, but
Right.
who
Let's
are,
just call him the
following
Death now.
Okay.
But they haven't been performing like sacrifices or anything like that we've heard of. Like, not cultists in that regard.
Do you have somebody planted with them?
We do not.
Where are you getting your information?
We've just been gathering reports from messengers and people on the road about where, like, large groups of people have been traveling, things like that. Anything out of the ordinary.
So listen, Varen, playing close to the vest is fine with your side, but if we're in the inner sanctum, you need to let us know about this stuff. If you're sending us out after these things that are important to you and you want us to continue to be able to find these things that are important to you, we need information as well. So keep that in mind.
Well, that said, then, in the interest of complete transparency, I am not just keeping this under wraps from the college, but from the Conclave of Prestidigitation as well. The Conclave of Prestidigitation is the governing body of all the mages' colleges throughout the Sword Coast. I'm just trying to keep a low profile in case anyone from the college is a mole, as you may have suggested we have with the cultists, Xanalor, but we do not, and we're not sure if they have with us, with the headmaster disappearing, but I'm trying to learn as much as I can about that as well.
So these attacks that have been happening with these kidney bean creatures, we keep hearing, well, except for one instance, we keep hearing these parchment tearing noises.
Oh yeah,
Some
what
sort
has
of-
he learned about that?
Some sort of correlation there, do you think?
I do believe that there is a correlation there. I'm having a terrible time trying to find information about these creatures. It seems, despite your first-hand accounts, and your very detailed, thank you, Stock, your very detailed descriptions and sort of dissections of these creatures, I'm having a terrible time finding them, having previously been written about. I have to imagine at this point that the tearing sound that you're hearing could be. My current working theory is that they are rips in our reality, and they're coming through from some other plane.
That's exactly what I said.
You lots are very sharp.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not.
Not literal parchment, but the tearing of a rift in time. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Or they just have really bad gas.
Really strange.
They are
gas.
bean monsters,
Sorry.
by after all.
All right. Well, operating under the assumption that the former headmaster has been taken by the college, and that the college is possibly going after this ancient artifact that is dangerous because of what is unknown of it. Seems like we could kill two birds with one stone.
Why would you want to kill two birds?
Dinner.
You have a stone?
I've got magic stone.
I think you are magically stoned.
I am offended.
Alrighty. So, what would be compensation for acquiring this item and possibly recovering your headmaster?
Well, I suppose at this point I am prepared to, without raising too much suspicion from the conclave and from the college itself, I'm prepared to present you each with 100 gold pieces at the completion of this quest.
Whoa. I mean,
Nice poker face, Scott.
That was in character, by the way.
I accidentally make the 10-foot pole go big.
Or
I swear that never happened. Clive.
Is that all you can do? As I gather myself.
Just staring at Borax right now, just staring.
If you can recover the headmaster as well, if you happen to find him on your journey, we can potentially discuss further payment at that time, because with the headmaster coming back, I will have a bit more leeway and less of a scrutinous eye upon me from the conclave.
And I assume your preference is that he'd be alive.
Yes, because I feel like
I just need to be clear.
I've
been ready for some time to take over as headmaster of the college. I'm excited to be here. Don't get me wrong, but I wish the circumstances were different, because, well, I'm not sure if Headmaster Salazar had quite this amount of scrutiny from the conclave placed upon him. Usually, the conclave, they leave us to our devices as long as nobody's getting out of line, and I do not have that benefit currently.
Just so you know that now that we know that it's a time rift thing with these kidney bean characters, they are now going to be referred to as Langoliers.
Nice. I like that. Varen actually writes that down. It's Langoliers. I have a feeling, given the research that we've been doing at the college over the course of the last 10-day, really it's 2 10 days we've been working on this, because you told us about this before you left for the Crypt Garden. I have a feeling that between you lot and myself, we'll be writing the book on this. We'll be the next modern Canaan. It'll be Leodin's Tome of Weird Things. Working title.
All right. So, do we still need to gather our asses? Have we actually spent enough time doing this to negate the travel for today, or are we still able to do that?
No, I think having a conversation with Varen, I mean, like, let's be honest, guys, like, the time you spent talking to Varen was probably only 20 minutes from start to finish. So I try not to accelerate game time compared to real time in situations like that. You know, it's not The Sims. No one presses fast forward.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys would still have, it's still just before noon when you leave the college, and get back to Neverwinter proper. You guys are able to get to Hartman's Bazaar. Same deal. If you wanted donkeys again, I don't know how much money you currently have. If you wanted to look to see if you wanted to change things up a little bit as far as what you were.
Well, what was the difference between a donkey and, say, a draft horse?
Wait, okay, for you guys is the
Yeah, that sheet's a little weird.
okay.
I don't
can't get
know. I'm
more-
not allowed to open my
A draft
side.
horse is 42 gold more than a mule.
Oh, never
Yeah.
mind. I'm good with an ass.
Okay.
I don't know. Can we ride mastiffs?
I don't believe so.
A
They're more
pony
for like
is-
hunting.
A pony's 22 more.
Jump on it.
Still expensive.
Are you
Yeah.
looking that up on D&D Beyond itself?
No, I opened the pop out thing.
Oh, okay.
It's just it.
Well, it looks like
It's
cost
hard
to
to look
speed.
at.
It's not worth buying much of anything else, except for a
Yeah.
riding horse.
I'm happy with the donkey.
Okay.
All right. So
All
does
right.
he give us the same deal then?
Yeah, same deal. 5 gold each.
I already took that out. Cool.
Same here.
So you guys have your rations. Xenalor has his mysterious oil flasks. You guys have your asses, and so you head out.
Before we head out,
Oh yes, that's right.
That's
So
what-
the night before you head out, you guys convene at the Breeze home. Asses in tow. Xanalor, what did you want to do?
I'm going in the middle of the night. I'm going to take my mysterious oil with me.
All right, I'm turning this off. I'm turning it off.
I'm going to go back to Arroway Manor
Okay.
as stealthily as I can.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
With advantage,
be
because I'm
good.
assuming you're doing it with your cloak up under cover of
Yep.
dark.
Yep. I rolled great. So 21.
Far down the wind.
You sure don't want to take Mike with you because this is right up his alley.
Arson.
I'm going to go inside and do a lap to see if there's any like heirlooms or anything that were left behind.
Okay.
First.
Okay. Tell you what. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
It's adequate. 12.
12. Okay. So you go around. You go into your former room, and you look around at the currently barren environment, and you recall a loose floorboard that you used to hide things in when you were a kid. And so you pop open this floorboard and you look inside, and untouched by anything but time is your pocket watch that was your father's, but you stole it from him when you were a kid, and he just assumed that he had dropped it at the Winking Whale one night. Never really thought much more of it. Bought a new pocket watch, but you kept it all the same. Inside of it was a picture of your mom, and it was a gift from your maternal grandmother. So yeah, that's
So-
what you find.
So I stare at that a minute, and then pocket it.
Okay.
And then I go about spreading the oil around.
You're burning down the house.
Yes.
Okay. I will say,
Talking head.
given the size of
It's not enough to burn the whole thing down, but yeah.
no, I was given the
Yeah.
size of Arroway Manor. You cover the majority of the building. You spread the oil, not necessarily all over, but you do it in places where you're trying to, like strategically, like, oh, there's more wood in here, so here's more oil, or stuff like that. You can't really affect the first floor too much outside of the walls, because the floors and like some of the staircases are marble. How do you light it?
With my old tinderbox.
Okay.
that I'm gonna leave behind and let it burn.
With it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's not one that I bought here recently, so it won't be as traceable.
Interesting. Okay. Do you say or do anything before committing this final act?
Not out loud. I'm just thinking about like killing my past more than I have already.
Okay. All right. So you strike the tinderbox, and the spark like arcs off and lands in the oil just in front of you. And you toss the tinderbox at where the spark has begun to ignite. And you take a step back, and from the shadows being cast from this new roaring inferno, you see the insides of Arrowway Manor slowly begin to ignite, and the fire spreads. The dust and disuse over time just leads to further fuel the flames, and in less time than you thought it might even take, the building is completely engulfed in flames, and the southern and eastern walls collapse inwards, which sort of like knocks the eastern wall askew, so it's leaning away from the house. The northern face, the front of the house, and the marble staircases are the only things standing in their former positions by the time the fire subsides in the morning. So that night, once you come home, you go to write in your journal, and you actually see some writing in there. I'm going to put that in the chat.
Cool.
Is anyone concerned we haven't seen Vershard in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, how long has it been since we saw him?
No, we're not.
He may have been run over in the streets by a carriage.
I saw a raccoon outside. It's probably...
He's just dumpster diving somewhere.
Shake my head.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to do before setting out?
Yeah, I want to make you name our donkeys again.
We're naming the donkeys again. Okay.
No.
All right. Your donkey's name is Pit.
Pit. Okay.
Yep. Your donkey's name is Pit.
I like it.
Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Okay. All right. So, what pace are you guys traveling at?
I'd say normal. We've got a long trip.
Need to work before.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to wear out the animals.
Okay.
Nor plunge too quickly headlong into something that might be a dragon.
Sure. Okay. All right. Hey, Mike, can you do me a favor? When you get an opportunity, can you put that "You Are Here" token into the drive for me so I can snag that? I think that would be a really good thing to use.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I have it saved.
Okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. All right. So, your guys' trip out of also Xanalor, Scott, take inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I want not to belittle what Nevis and Xanalor have done, but I think that Stock and Borax also, you guys have done a really good job of like embracing the narrative and playing as your characters. So I want you guys to take inspiration as well for actions taken over the last 3 or 4 sessions.
Okie dokie.
All right. Okay. So, all right. You guys set out from Neverwinter. After a couple hours, you guys you see again Amos Farms coming up on the right. Stock, are you wanting to stop again?
Yes.
All right, Stock.
Time would be remiss if we didn't.
Yeah. What are you looking for from old Mencalf now?
Nothing. Just making sure he's still okay.
Yeah.
Just pass by, take a quick walk around. You know.
Play with
Say
some goats.
hi.
Why so interested?
So Mencalf sees you guys coming up the drive with your donkeys, and he sees you from the pasture again. You hear him like shout something like you can't make it out from the distance, and you see him just like running up to his shack, and he comes out with 2 sixers of goat's milk.
Keep doing it.
But yeah, he tells you that everything's been fine. I think last time he had finished getting all the blood out of the barn and all that stuff. He's worked a little bit on repairing the door of the barn, which some of the creature must have damaged it or something like that when it made its way in there. But
yeah, some creature did.
He's made some repairs to his barn, and the animals are back to using the barn at night and stuff like that. And yeah, things have been quiet.
Alrighty, I am satisfied.
All right. Okay, so let's have you guys go ahead and we'll set up camp for the evening. I want to go ahead and have someone make a survival check for making the fire again. That's something that I accidentally let fall to the wayside last time around.
I'll take care of that.
All right.
Oh, I was gonna say I got a 22 for making the
Okay,
fire.
I got a 22 as well.
Same roll, same modifier. You guys are cheating. Okay, so
we of course want to make sure that the animals are cared for, fed, watered,
yeah,
and secured, unless Borax wants his to wander again.
No, I've been hurt before.
I was just gonna say something. Borax is
I'm kind of
super
interested,
hurt.
Borax, if you're gonna speak with this group and maybe make another pact with yours, or at least see what the names of the rest of ours are.
Fine. I'll cast Speak with Animals.
All right. Okay.
Hey guys.
Not if you don't want to.
So
No, they just wanted me for pineapple. I get
Well, you don't know until you ask, really.
So you're inquiring the name of the other donkeys in the party?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Xanalor's
Pitt's
donkey.
friend's name?
Xanalor's donkey's name is Anderson. Stock's donkey's name is Garrett. And Nevis's donkey is named Brad.
Okay.
I'm surprised one of them wasn't named Arm.
Arm?
Armpit.
Oh. No, of course this time we went with famous Brads. I chose Brad Anderson for Xanalor for Scott because Brad Anderson was one of the directors on Session 9.
Nice.
Because Scott and I have had several conversations about Session 9 in the last few months. It's weird. It's kismet there. So Borax, are you doing this begrudgingly at this point? Like how?
No,
what's your
more-
relationship with Pitt like?
Not begrudgingly, just disinterested.
Disinterested.
Just
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what's your
He
name?
He doesn't want to get his heart hurt again.
Right, I was gonna say, so you're certainly not like emotionally investing in in Pitt like you did in Owen.
Definitely not. No, not at this point.
Or
Just,
no, yours was not. What was your
It's
your first
Clive.
name?
It was
Clive.
Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clive, that's right. Yeah, I started you with the first name. That's right. I do see that, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, no, just going through the motions. Like this is what I'm supposed to do when meeting new creatures. But yeah, the first I try to talk to a wolf and it bites or beast monster thing. Then I make friends with a donkey, bites my. So I'm just feeling a little betrayed.
I get it. I totally get it. All right. What are we doing as far as watch tonight goes, gentlemen?
My third.
Second.
I like
All right.
last.
I'll
Okay.
take first then.
All right. Okay. So, Borax, go ahead and roll a perception check.
I wasted the 18. That's a 7.
7. Okay. All right. Your watch goes by without any issue, it would seem.
Okay.
Oh, that's so
I'm just
good.
continuing having board chat donkey. Like,
Oh,
let's
man.
say. All right.
That was a
Who do
little
I have to
huge.
wake up for?
Sorry, what was that, Borax?
Who do I have to wake up for second shift?
Nevis.
I go over and I kind of shake him. Boring night so far. Enjoy.
All right, Nevis, go ahead and make your perception check.
This is only a 9 this time.
A 9. All right. Your watch goes by without incident.
All right, I go over and carefully wake up Mr. Stock Kino.
All
Or
right.
is it Kino?
Kino.
Kino, okay. Wasn't sure if there was an imaginary, like, what is that called? A Matilde? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not this time. All right, Stock, go ahead and make your perception check.
That is some number.
You pass.
18.
18. Okay. So Stock, you notice a sound coming from the brush. Where is? Okay, there it is. So where's my Borax token? You hear like rustling coming from the brush.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Is it normal rustling that we've been hearing while traveling? Was there any odd smell or sounds accompanied with it?
Make a nature or a investigation check. I'll let you pick.
Well, it doesn't much matter because they have the same modifier with a total of 2.
Okay. You can't tell. Not right now.
Seeing how late into my watch is this?
It's not super late into your shift. It didn't take very long for you to start hearing this. It sounds like maybe this you gather that it could have been something that's been happening tonight and no one picked up on it until now.
And Xanalor is the one following me, correct? Or is it Borax? I don't remember.
Xanalor is last.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, then I'm going to wake up Xanalor and be like, there's rustling in the brush.
Did you look and see what it was?
I don't trust it.
So no.
Nope.
That's my job. Okay.
No, I'm using you to make sure the party doesn't get killed from behind. So as soon as he's awake, I go to the brush.
Okay.
Okay.
I just didn't want to leave the party unprotected.
Okay. So
Is that a shot at Borax for just blindly chasing?
Maybe.
So as you go over towards the brush, you all of a sudden hear a low growl, and all of a sudden a a flash of fur and gnashing teeth jumps out of the brush at you, and I want everybody to roll initiative.
I punch the initiative.
Are the sleepers at disadvantage?
No, they're not at disadvantage, but they're just gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to find a way to wake them up, basically.
Okay.
All right. How many is it?
Can I mage armor before we start this? Or is it too late?
Is that something that you would have done when Stock woke you up, saying that something was off?
I would think when I'm starting a watch, I would do that.
Okay. So yeah, we can allow you to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me roll here, and we'll get started. Okay. So 20 to 25.
23. I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Nice job, Stock. All right. 15 to 20. 10 to 15.
14.
What's your
11.
initiative modifier, Xanilor?
2.
2. Okay. All right.
And 11.
Okay. And then Nevis, where did you land?
A 3.
Okay. We've had some I'm not gonna lie, in this particular campaign we've had some incredibly low initiative rolls.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
And I'm okay with it because I think it means that we've gotten away from the like dexterity heavy approaches to playing, because like obviously like initiative is a dexterity thing, and if you don't roll well on initiative and you don't have high dexterity, like you don't go as quickly. But I think that's okay. I think it lends to the narrative.
Yeah, we've kind of figured out that you don't need to have to strike first if you have confidence in your character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great testament to us all getting more comfortable with the system and experience.
Yeah. All right. So let me move you guys over to this random encounter map, and this is what you have. Basically, Stock, you are attacked by a wolf jumps out of the brush at you.
Okay.
And as it does that, a sort of a coordinated attack occurs. But you were ready because of your distrust, so you're actually up first.
Okie dokie then. And I am currently immediately engaged with it.
Yep.
Alright, then, because I want to, I'm going to use my fighting spirit.
Where is Stock? Oh, there he is. Okay,
Yep.
never mind.
To use my bonus action to give myself advantage on weapon attack rolls until the end of the turn and give myself 5 temporary hit points.
So wait, that was what does that cost to do?
It is a bonus action.
Bonus action to do fighting spirit. Okay, cool.
Since I don't have a bonus action, might as well.
Yeah. This is your first
Damn.
combat with an actual archetype, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And that is what I got from the archetype.
Nice. All right. I like it.
Yep. So in turn, I'm going to slash at it twice with my greatsword.
Okay.
And I have the advantages. So that
Wait, how are you going to swipe at it twice? Are you using your action surge as well?
No, I'm swiping at it with my greatsword. I have advantage. That's why I was saying twice, because I rolled twice.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I understand now.
Yep. 21.
21 will hit.
Okie dokie. That is 13.
13.
And
Okay.
back up.
Okay.
To about there. That's my 30.
Okay. The wolf looks super not happy that just happened. Okay. All right. So the wolves are up next. They're gonna go. Okay.
Protect the squishy ones. Hey, would our donkeys get
Yeah, and you
attack of
guys wonder why I
opportunities?
have trust issues.
No, the
Those are the
donkeys.
donkeys.
The donkeys are they're basically surprised and also frightened because wolves,
Stupid donkeys.
right? Okay. All right. So stock 3 wolves are going to make attacks against you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's start from your left. We'll work clockwise. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
Yes. Armor
Okay.
class is 15.
All right. So we'll just count the hits here. Second one's going to miss. Whoop. And the third one is going to hit. I rolled a natural 17 there. So 2 hits, right? So I need you to make you 2 strength saving throws.
All right. First one is a 16. Second one is a 12.
Okay, you save on both. And you take 13 piercing damage.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Borax, 2 of them are going to make attacks against you. This is going to wake you up. It's a 17 to hit on one.
Yep.
And 2 17s. Okay. All right. That's going to be 4, 8, 12 piercing damage. And then
Hey, that's fun.
since you were technically still asleep at the time, you're going to be considered prone. Okay. And then 1 against Nevis. He's going to have advantage because he misses both of those. You have advantage because Nevis is still asleep. Nevis, you get woken up by the sounds of combat around you. So you are currently prone, but you'll be able to stand up on your turn. Xanalor, you're up.
I am going to cast Mirror Image.
Okay.
So I get 3 duplicates of myself.
Okay.
And that is my action.
Okay.
And I don't have anything bonus action-y that can actually do any good. So
Okay. Borax, you're up. Then Nevis, you're on deck.
And I am going to make some moonbeam rain down on this gentleman here.
Moonbeam.
And
You're
it's a
hitting-
Constitution.
You're hitting Moon with a moonbeam.
Yeah.
All right. That's an 11.
That fails. So it takes 2 for the full brunt of the 2d10 radiant, I think.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, it takes 6 radiant damage.
All right. And is that only on a 5-foot area, or?
Yeah, it's in a 5-foot radius.
Okay, and that persists, correct?
It persists. It's in concentration. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I
will use my movement to stand up.
Okay. All right. So the little yellow dot is going to denote concentration. I don't know if I've talked about that too much yet or not, but I'll put it on there. I'm going to do my best to remember it. Obviously, if you guys don't remind me, that just benefits you. All right. Nevis, you're up.
All right. I want to stand up and then cast the cantrip Sacred Flame at the wolf next to me.
Okay.
C of 14.
What's the skill? Dex. Okay. That is a 14, so he does save.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
You're gonna what? Sorry.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. All right. Stock, you're up again.
All right, I'm gonna do the same thing again. So I'm gonna use my fighting spirit again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go after the one that I hit before.
All right.
Which is a 23 to hit.
It definitely hits.
Oh, That is 12 slashing damage.
12. Okay. All right. That's one wolf down.
All right, and let's see.
Nice.
Anything else?
I have concluded.
Okay. All right. So the wolves are up. There's gonna be 2 attacks against Stock.
15 is the armor class.
All right. It's a natural 20 on the first one.
Ouch.
And a 16 on the second one. So both of those are gonna hit. So for the first one, that's gonna be 16 piercing damage. And the second one is going to be 6 piercing damage. So for what's that, a total of 22?
Yep, I'm looking rough.
All right. And then I need you to make 2 strength saving throws.
Alrighty.
Um,
That is a 12 again, and a 7.
12 and a 7?
Yep.
Okay, so the second one, so after like taking the first wolf and like shedding off the brunt of the wolf, the second one jumps in and grabs you by the leg and pulls, and you fall to your knee, and you're considered prone until your turn.
Okay.
The the other 2 wolves, the 2 wolves at the bottom, sorry, are going to one is going to attack Borax, one's going to attack Xanalor. So against Xanalor, that's going to be a 15 to hit.
So I have to roll to see who it hits. I rolled a 3, which means it attacks at me, and that'll hit 16.
16, okay. And that's going to be 7 piercing damage. Need you to make a strength saving throw. Is Mirror Image a concentration spell?
No.
No.
Surprisingly enough. It seems like it should be. I just rolled a 20.
20. All right. You super stand up. Borax against you. That's probably going to miss with a 12.
Yep.
All right. Last one against Nevis.
And that guy actually, he takes another D20
okay.
radiant damage if 2d10s if he fails a Constitution saving throw.
He
Otherwise,
does.
He takes half.
He's super.
All
super
right,
good.
so he takes 9 more damage.
9 more damage. Okay. All right, and then the attack against Nevis actually misses, so that brings us to Xanalor. Borax, you're next.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast this fellow.
Okay.
And that'll be a 22 to hit.
Oh yeah.
And where is my dice? Did I roll the right thing? Yeah, 15 force damage. That was a 10.
Wow, nice. All right, Borax, you're up. Nevis, you're on deck.
All right, I am going to turn into a snake.
Blech. A regular
And
snake or like a big?
A little poisonous snake. A small little poisonous snake.
All right.
Slither away over yonder. Then use my bonus action to poof back into normal.
Okay.
Because I was about to die.
Okay. Does a snake have like something that prevents opportunity attacks against it? Is that why you
I was
chose?
just hoping dropping down to the size prevents it.
What size is a snake? Is it small or is it tiny?
It is a tiny beast.
Tiny. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll say it's a straight roll then for the wolves. I rolled a 22 and a 14.
Yeah, both those will hit.
Oh, okay. All right. How much hit points does the snake have?
Let's see. The snake has 2.
2. Okay.
Yes, it's not many.
Unless if I want to roll the 1. 3.
All right. So it's 11 piercing damage.
Okay, so that takes me out of snake form, puts me back in a human.
Okay. And then what? I think 9 of that bleeds over.
Yep, that puts me at 1.
Okay, but you do get away successfully then, and you still have your bonus action then, because you didn't vamp out. Is
Yes.
there anything you can do as a bonus action?
Let me see what. Nothing worth doing. Nope. Yeah, that's nothing that can heal me with, at least.
I've never seen Magic Stone before, and that's kind of a cool cantrip.
Yeah.
I-
I figured I could have some fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Nevis, you are up.
All right. Since this is the plan I had in place first, I'm going to go ahead and go with it. I am
Okay.
going to leap over the little thing that just appeared in front of me.
Like Borax.
Yeah, and in the midst of battle, I'm just going to call it a little thing.
Okay. All right.
Let me actually.
Borax, can you roll a Constitution saving throw for me as well?
Oh, yeah.
And take the chance on
And that's a 7.
getting a reaction strike. I want to touch Stock and cast Cure Wounds on him at the first level.
Okay. Let's see if the wolf hits. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
It does.
All right. You're going to take 8 piercing damage.
Okay. Noted. And I'll roll now for Stock's hit points back.
Okay.
With-
You did lose concentration on Moonbeam, by the way, Borax. Sorry.
I did max out, so Stock, you get 12 hit points back.
Ooh, thank you very much.
And that will end my turn.
All right. Stock, you are up.
All right. Seeing that happen, and I don't want to get my shit further fucked up, I'm going to take my second wind.
Okay.
So let's roll if I can find my freaking dice. That's 11 back. I rolled an 8.
Okay.
And I'm going to burn my inspiration to get advantage on my sword attack.
Okay.
And I'm going to go after the one due north.
All right.
That one bounced out. That don't count. That is a 12 to hit.
A 12 just barely misses.
Damn them.
All right. All right. So the wolves are up. These two are gonna. Did you stand up at all, Stock?
Yeah, I would have.
Okay. We'll see if I need to change that yet or not. All right. So, first attack, another natural 20, and the second attack is an 18.
Both hit.
All right. Let's see. So that's 8 from the crit and 5 from the non-crit.
Glad I did all that healing, and thanks to Nevis.
Yeah. That wolf is going to move there. 2 attacks can be made at you, Xanalor.
Yep.
The first one is a 22.
And I rolled an 11, which means I think that'll attack one of the fake ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so he hits a fake one.
Okay. So what does that do?
It's gone. One of them's dead.
Okay. So I don't need to roll damage for that then?
Correct.
Okay. All right. The second attack is going to probably miss with a 9.
Yes. Yeah, it would miss any of us, so yeah.
Okay. All right. And then this wolf here is going to move up, and seeing that it kind of was able to not necessarily hobble, but get a piece of Nevis, is going to continue his assault on Nevis. But that's a 3 to hit, so that misses. That brings us to Xanalor. Borax, you're on deck.
I'm going to pull out my dagger and use Green Flame Blade and hit this guy. So it's a new cantrip.
Yeah.
So like as I swing it, like green fire is gonna light up on the blade.
Okay.
And I'm gonna miss hard because that was a 6 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, that will miss. It was cool sounding though.
It's gonna be cool when it works.
Borax, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on my level.
Okay.
Get back.
Level what? I'm sorry.
Second level.
Second level. Okay.
And I'll get back 9 hit points.
9 hit points. Okay.
Oh, I didn't make any saving throws when I got attacked.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and do that.
Do I have control of these things?
I don't know.
Yeah, there.
15
Yeah, I
and
made
18.
copies of yours. 15 and 18. All right, you're good. All right.
And you know what? I might as well. I'm gonna pick up 3 stones from the ground and just kind of give them some of my druidic magic.
Okay. So that's your bonus action and action. Nevis, you're up. Stock, you're on deck.
Is Stock down?
No, sorry. He was prone when you came over, but he is not anymore. I need to change that.
Okay. The one to Stock's north, is he taking any damage?
Yes, quite a bit.
Okay. Then I want to cast Toll the Dead on him.
Okay.
Wisdom DC of 14.
All right. That's not going to do it.
All right, so he's going to take
12.
12. I don't remember if there's any modifiers.
There isn't.
6 necrotic
6.
damage.
All right. You hear this weird, like, sort of like really deep, ominous tone sound, and then all of a sudden that wolf just falls over. All right, Stock, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna return the favor, switch over to the glaive, and go after the one by Nevis and Borax.
Okay.
And I am going to burn my last fighting spirit.
All right. For advantage.
Yep. That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
And I get 5 temporary hit points. And that should be... Just trying to remember all my shit. Yep. 5 slashing damage.
All right.
I rolled a 1.
All right, so the wolves are up. Someone's going to move there. There's going to be one attack against Stock. It's going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw for me while you take 4 piercing damage.
I rolled an 8
All right, so you are prone again.
for damage.
Not that it really matters in the context of this fight anymore. But, all right. So Xanalor has taken 2 attacks. That's going to be a 23 to hit on the first one.
I rolled a 7, which means he hits me.
Okay.
What did you roll the hit though? Sorry.
It was a 23.
Yeah, so it hits.
Okay. I need you to make a strength saving throw while you take 9 piercing damage.
Strength is a 13 on the saving throw.
Okay.
And how much? You said 9?
9, yeah.
Okay.
And then the second one attacks, and that's going to be another 23 to hit.
And that one is a 12, which means he hits a duplicate.
Okay. Dupe down. All right. There's one wolf left up top. He's gonna lash back at Stock. That's a natural 1, so that misses. And Xanalor, you're up.
I'm going to use my
Do I get an
inspiration.
attack of opportunity when he moved up?
He's still within melee range, so it would not proc that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to green flame blade again. I'm going to use my inspiration for advantage.
Okay.
So I can actually make this work. And that's probably good that I did that. 17 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. So then he's going to take 5 slashing.
All right.
And then the green fire is going to jump to the other one. So I swung at this one. It's going to jump to the other one and do 5 fire damage.
Okay. All right. Well, you killed the one you stabbed.
Cool.
Borax, you're up.
All right. I am going to use my primal savagery and make my the claws go sharpie and slash at that guy
Okay.
right in front of me. That is a 14 plus something.
That'll hit.
14 plus 4, that's an 18. And then it's going to be 1d10 damage. And that is 9 poison damage.
9. Nice. Strong attack. Nevis, you're up.
All right. Well, since Borax seems to still be doing all right, I was going to see. Well, you know what? I'm still going to do that. Would it take an action to see how ragged or unragged Borax is right now? Or can I just like glance at him?
So
If it's going to take an action, then I don't want to waste the time.
no,
I mean, you probably saw that I healed myself not too long ago, so I've been worse, but I'm still not looking great.
Yeah, he's still looking quite bloody.
I'm at on a scale of 1 to 21. I'm feeling about a 10.
All right. So then the both the wolves that are within either melee or spell range above me, are they both damaged?
The one closest to you does look pretty rough, but the other one looks like it hasn't been hit yet.
Okay. Then I believe I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at the one just above me.
Okay. You said that's
a dex of 13.
Okay. I roll. It's a 20 to save.
I got to stop doing that at creatures that appear to be dexterous.
Yeah, the wisdom one was much harder.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Stock, you're up, bud.
I will unprone myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand up. That's half my movement, and I'm gonna go after the northeast one.
Okay.
And
Nor'easter.
Nor'easter, yep. I don't have any additional actions I can do except for this. So we'll do this first. I'm gonna go Nor'easter with the glaive.
Okay.
I catastrophically failed.
What'd you roll?
A 1.
A 1. Okay. On a 1, your glaive actually
Stabbed you in the heart.
No, it doesn't hurt you. The glaive itself, it gets damaged. You're not gonna be able to use it for the rest of this battle.
Okay, then I'm gonna burn my action surge.
I think I can fix it later for you, though.
Burning my action surge to try again.
Okay, with the greatsword this time.
Yep.
All right.
That is brain fart. A 15.
15 will hit.
Nice.
All right, that is a total of 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage. All right. Goes down. All right. The 2 wolves are up. Attack against Shock. It's gonna be a 21 to hit you. Go ahead and make that strength saving throw while you take 10 piercing damage.
I think you've only missed like once.
I know. I keep rolling like 17s, 18s, and 19s, man. I'm sorry.
That's a 12.
I'm
You
gonna
said 10
inspect
slashing
these
damage?
wolves later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a 12.
Okay, you save. All right, and then against Xanalor, I switched die, and that's still a 19.
He hits me. I rolled a 3.
Hits you? Okay. Okay.
Wait, sorry. What was the? How much did you roll? Sorry, I was thinking of my
22.
own thing. Yeah, you hit.
Okay. Or sorry, 23. No, it was a 15. It's a 19.
Yeah, you hit.
Okay. So that's going to be for 8 piercing damage.
Ooh, thank you.
Throw.
That's just enough to not knock me down. Strength, be strong. 10.
A 10 fails.
Okay.
One of the many Xanalors falls to its knees. All right. Xanalor, you are up though.
Not 2. From my knees, I can still cast stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I want to. This is funny from my knees, but I'm going to cast Cause Fear.
Okay.
So it's going to target both of these because it's second level.
Okay.
They have to make wisdom saving.
Okay. All right. All right. I will use the different dice for this one. All right. Wisdom saving throw. The one up by Stock gets a 17, but the other one has a 10.
It was a 15.
Okay. So this one is feared. Somehow, you went down your knees and got even bigger. What am I going to use for fear?
It's now
Here we
on
go.
its level.
That's a good one. Yeah. Oh God, he's huge. All right. Borax, you're up.
Alright. I am going to take the magic stones that I made.
Okay.
And let's see. I just want to make sure I'm using them right. I can use all three right at the same time.
I'm going to take a look at this as well so I can learn with you.
Yeah, it says I can make three, but it doesn't say how many I can. Like if I can only throw one at a time or not.
It says you or someone else can make a ranged spell attack with one
With
of the
one
pebbles.
of these pebbles. Okay, so yeah, I'll throw a pebble at this little guy.
Okay. So it's a ranged spell attack. So you have a +4.
Right, and that is a 12 to hit.
A 12 will unfortunately miss.
There's 2 more pebbles where that came from.
You actually
Consider this
added
a
your
warning.
modifier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was with the 4 added.
Nevis, you're up.
Oh boy. All right. Has the 1-2 Stocks Northwest still not taken any damage?
It's a good question. Correct. No one's been able to hit this thing.
But the one to the south of Zanalor has, right?
At least a little bit.
Yeah, it has taken some damage and it is currently feared.
It's a
Okay.
fear to me.
You see its like tail like tucked between its legs, and it's like it's still got its teeth bared at Zanalor, who's also on the ground. But
Yeah, I know what fear in a dog looks like.
I'm just saying, man.
All right, I'm going to cast Toll the Dead at the one to the south of Zanalor.
Okay. So
So
that's
it's,
wisdom.
14.
What's the save?
14.
14. It misses.
Nice. Nice. Max damage, 12 necrotic.
You're all right. That's actually enough to kill that wolf.
You were going to say something before that?
No, I said you're.
Oh. Not talking about the Afghani hut, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No, this is weird new thing the children are doing these days. All right. So Stock, you're up.
All right, I guess great sword at the one to the northwest. Yeah, I'm not hitting it.
I don't know why this wolf is immortal, but apparently it is.
I was not anticipating that, Stock. Sorry.
It's a mirror
Yeah.
image.
I'm all over the place.
Doc, that's a 12 against you. That's going to miss. Zanalor, you're up.
I'm going to stand up
All right.
and move over there so I'm not shooting at Stock. And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast him.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. 16 to hit.
16 will hit. The immortal wolf has been struck.
And
Nice.
I forgot my modifier. +5, so 8 force damage.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Borax.
True to my word, I am throwing another stone.
Yeah. This wolf is a stone's throw from dead.
Will 15 hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is max damage. 8.
You hit this wolf in the head with a rock, and it's not really a big rock. It's a big rock for Borax. I mean, it's big enough for you to pick up 3 of them at once, but you throw this at this wolf, and it's like a pebble hitting this thing, and it's and falls down.
Just hits, you know.
Hey, you remember from Braveheart when he clunked the guy
just
in the
hit.
noggin?
Yeah.
Rock bottom.
You son of a bitch. Take inspiration if you don't already have it.
Oh fuck.
So those wolves gave us way more trouble than the fucking Langoliers ever did.
They did.
Was this a deadly encounter? Because I almost died like 3 times.
No, it was medium.
I was 1 hit point.
Yeah, I was at 1 as well.
Yeah, you guys really got your ass kicked there.
I got 6, back up, back down to 7.
I think
So
we're
we
sleeping
can have
in
at least
today.
time to get another short rest in before we have to wake up.
Long rest.
Long rest.
yeah,
We'll start at noon.
Yep.
yeah, you
Yeah.
guys will just take a slightly late day. All right. So yeah, you guys, you
Do we have to make new watches?
no,
Okay.
it'll just yeah, no, it'll be fine.
I burned all of my abilities.
Yeah. All right. So you guys will get the results of a long rest. Xanilor, go ahead and make your perception check, just to see like how the rest of the night goes with you on like hyper alert after almost dying.
20.
20. Turns out having 2 of you was a great boon. You don't hear any more wolves. That's for sure. It seems like this hunting party has been dispatched, and the night comes and goes. The sun comes up, the sun stays up, and the party eventually gets up. And you guys have had the benefits of a long rest.
And I'm gonna be
Can I investigate the wolves to see if
Yeah,
there's
go for
anything
it.
special about them?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
and in that time frame I'm asking Nevis to take a look at my glaive.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to find anything, Xanilor, that doesn't already give you the...
It's 2.
Yeah, the DM was rolling well. That's all that happened.
No, they're normal wolves. They
Okay.
they weren't dire wolves. They're just wolves.
They're
Apparently,
fierce.
they were gifted at hunting. I don't know what they've
Yeah.
spent their days hunting, but might have been adventurers. Who knows?
Seems that way.
All right, so what can I do for Stock's Glaive
All right, let's
in
take
the
a
short
look
period of time we have?
at your skill here. Okay. Okay, so you can use your channel divinity and an hour to basically fix it, because your that ritual gives you the ability to craft a non-magical item that must include some metal, and there's still some metal there. So you're actually able to craft a new glaive out of it, or you're able to repair the glaive that exists with your artisan's blessing.
To full ability?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
good as new.
Why, thank you, sir.
Sharp enough to cut a grape. You can do surgery on a grape with the tip of that thing.
What is
That way.
what movie is it where it's so sharp it could circumcise a gnat?
I've never heard that before, but that's fitting.
It's from some movie. I can't remember
You
now.
like run it across your finger to like feel it and like legit bloody yourself, and you're like, man, I should break my weapon more often. This is awesome. This thing wasn't even this sharp when I got it.
It's Uncle
all
Buck.
right.
He says I've been known to circumcise a gnat. When
Okay.
He's trying to scare a kid.
Interesting. All right. Okay. So you guys pack up your stuff. You have breakfast. Nevis performs this ritual over your glaive, and you see the blade almost like regenerate from the metal left over from the so that the edge sort of regenerates from the metal left over from the blade itself. And yeah, so you guys hit the road. It's almost lunchtime already, but you guys are gonna make do with what you can, right? I'm gonna go ahead and move you back to the page here. You guys moving at a regular pace still?
I'm taking a slow pace today.
Is there a between regular and slow?
More like a leisurely stroll, but not really slow.
Why can't I move this to? What the fuck? Okay.
Wrong layer.
No, I'm on the right layer. It just like refuses to be moved with the arrow keys. Okay. So you guys make it about there. Maybe.
As we're moving, I noticed that stock is falling further and further behind, and I noticed that no amount of motioning for him to catch up seems to do any good. So I only want to travel at a pace that keeps him in visible range.
Yeah, I quite literally used 3 temporary abilities that were combined. My second wind and my action surge, and still almost died 3 times.
That was an impressive amount of struggle for 6 wolves.
Well, you kept rolling 20s on me.
I know, I did. I'm sorry. All right. So as you guys travel down the road, right? You guys come across you come across a cart that is very clearly broken. Like the wheel is off of the shaft, and there's a couple of based on like the contents of the cart, they appear to be like woodsmen, like lumberjacks, for lack of a better term.
Are they okay?
They're not dead.
Have
They're
they
just
been
they're
ravaged by
like
wolves?
you just see them like kind of like arguing back and forth, and like why don't you fix it? No, you fix it.
It's a Monty Python reference.
Oh,
How's the day treating you?
They look at you. They look back at the wagon wheel, and they look back and they go, "It's fucking great."
I roll for insight.
Go ahead.
Is this insight into sarcasm?
That is a 13.
Is this like a sarcasm perception?
You gather that this is them being making light of a bad situation. It's not great.
Yeah, at least he didn't get attacked by wolves.
No, not yet, anyway.
Yeah. So what's your issues?
Well, the wheel here broke off the wagon, and neither of us have the know-how to fix it.
Do you have the gold to fix it?
I'd definitely be willing to throw something your way if you were able to help out.
Neves.
Well, let's take a look at her.
I function as a jack again.
I throw my diagnostic scanner on and see what the DTCs are.
It throws up an error code 251, which you look it up, and it is wheel busted to shit.
I want to check the situation and see if it's something I can repair. I will if I can.
Yeah, it looks like it's like some of the pins, I suppose, that go through the wood to attach it to the sturdier metal aspects of the wagon axle assembly. So
the Canute valve came off the muffler bearing, and we're all good.
Yep. There's just widgets everywhere.
You damn magic smoke got out of the fancy box.
So you take a look at it. You realize you just need a couple of pins and a little bit of time with your hammer. And Xanalor sees that you probably need a hammer and like pulls his out. And you pull one.
I look at him oddly, but I'll accept the offer and use his hammer.
You ask the you say what the problem is, because you're mechanicizing right now. You're like, well, see, the flugelhorn fell off the what you call it. And you say, I just need a couple pins and I can put it back together. Like, oh, we've got those. Then the guy is like, Leaf, why didn't you fucking figure that out? He's like, screw you. And he goes into the wagon and pulls a handful of pins out, and you're able to fix it up without too much difficulty.
This is kind of like being at work, actually. I'm sorry.
It got too real.
I
Of course,
know
I'm
this,
just here just for that.
this is like the road mutcher looking around, wondering, what the hell to do, and I pull out the obvious and look like things working.
Change your fucking tire. That's what you do.
I'm
Speaking
sorry, I'm sorry, wood guys, but that's $39 an hour. Thank you.
they look at their coffers and they say, well, I mean, how long is this fix gonna last for? Is this gonna get us back to Neverwinter and more, or is it just a fix to get us back to Neverwinter?
And I just kind of look at him like, this is not my first rodeo, pal. Just as I look at the road guys when they ask me what's going on.
It's like,
I mean, it doesn't cover user error, but
is
I give you my out of sight guarantee.
out of sight.
For you to get out of my sight right now.
They look in their bag and they all they've got is it's 20 gold. That's their the leftover of their per diem. They won't have any more until after they get back to Neverwinter and unload the wood.
You know what? Give my human, or no, I shouldn't say human. Give my bipedal jack over here the gold, and just be on your way. Pay it forward.
So we'll do. If we ever see you again, hopefully we'll have a little bit more to give you. But hopefully we don't have to see you again. Not just because of the gold, but it's...
I don't like
know
you
if I
either.
should be insulted or impressed by that statement. So, of course, split the 20 between us.
No, it's just one. I wasn't going to take any more. If you're going to take 20 from them, that's fine, but I am not taking any more than 1 gold.
Oh, I figured they were throwing the whole thing at us.
Nah, fellow traveler thing,
I don't know. Corey never stated what they gave us.
What did he actually give?
Yeah.
Is he offering it to Nevis and Nevis just took one? Or
Yeah,
Can we clarify that?
Let's put it that way. Yeah, like they hand Nevis the pouch, and Nevis pulls out a gold piece, flicks it to stock, and just like sidearm chucks the the sack back at the idiots.
All right, everybody gets 2 silver and 5 copper.
I consider not taking it, but I do.
All right. All right. So you guys, you travel towards the camp for the night after leaving the woodsman behind. You get to where you make camp for the evening. You tie up the donkeys, set up camp, get the fire going. Go ahead and make a survival check for me, whoever wants to get the fire started.
I've done enough fire starting.
Yes, Sandlor's got a lot of fire starting experience right now.
Practice makes perfect.
that's only a 10.
Okay.
I think I'm struggling like a weeblo here.
It takes you a little while. You're not sure if Xanalor just can't follow fucking directions and brought you some wet wood or something. But obviously it's a team effort. So when it's a team fails a team, you get it started. So that's a win in the end. I guess it's just a little. It's just a little irritating coming on the tail end of a day where you got your ass kicked by a bunch of fucking giant dogs at night, and you have to help some dumbasses fix their wagon. And it's like, man, fuck Tuesdays. Yeah. So what's the watch order tonight? Are you guys keeping with the same order?
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah,
yeah, I was lucky last time.
All right. Lucky.
Super lucky.
Super lucky that no one noticed the wolves creeping up.
Hey, we didn't
for
die.
4 hours.
We noticed. We just still got our asses handed to us.
Okay. Borax, go ahead and make a perception check.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
So 22.
There you go. All right. You
There'll be no more of those in combat, though.
you're hyper vigilant today.
No fucking wolves today.
You just
Yeah, I've almost died enough.
you spend a little time looking at your at the Narcissus, which is surprisingly still not wilting at all. It's maintaining its integrity. You're able to use a little bit of water from your canteen to wash some of your blood that's soaked into it off.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, over the course of the first 2 hours of the evening, it's quiet evening. Definitely nothing coming out of the woods. All right. So as your watch ends and you wake Nevis, Nevis, go ahead and make a perception check for me. And Borax, if you want to say anything, you can.
Nope. No, just another boring night.
Cool.
All right.
I got a 17.
Nice.
And I'll tell you why.
Vigilant.
Because I'm going to make just enough noise for creatures to know that we're here to scare them away without waking my companion.
Okay. All right. So you throw a little more.
I've been in stealth mode this whole time, and it didn't work out for me. So let's give this a try.
All right. Well, you throw a little more wood on the fire, so it kicks back up. It's definitely cooking on it even will be a little bit risky at this point because it might overcook the food too quick. But animals they don't like fire, and so that's probably the best way to go about warding them off without clapping and making dragon adjacent noises to try to fool them into not coming around. So yeah, your watch goes by inconsequentially, and that brings us to stock.
Natural 20.
Wow.
Why do we roll these now?
Because we saw the wolves and almost died, and now we are vigilant.
He rolled so bad that one of those wolves was nigh immortal, and now tonight there's 2 nat 20s on watch.
Yep.
Oh my god! All right.
It's called PTSD, motherfucker.
So, Stock, you spend the night watching and kind of playing over last night's combat in your mind, and so your muscles are tense and ready, and your eyes are focused to, laser precision, and you actually stand for your entire watch. Glaive at the ready, the tip just barely touching the ground as it's extended in your hand, and nobody fucks with Stock tonight. And with that, your watch passes without any further incident. And Xanalor, you're up.
Oh, it ends with me. No modifier. 4.
4. Pretty stars tonight. Pretty stars. Ooh, look, the sky's turning purple. Hey, that's the sun. Oh my god, my watch is over. It's daytime. Hey guys, everybody wake up.
Oh, and there's a dragon. Sorry.
Never mind the dragon. You don't worry about that. All right. So you guys today you're able to make it to. We're actually going to move you right there. You're actually taking this little path that goes between the Sword Mountain foothills there and the Neverwinter Wood.
If I could ask a question right now, I know
Yeah.
we're coming up on 4th hour.
Mhm.
I have no reason to stop at 8:30. If anybody else has no objection to continuing on, I'd like to take a little break right now.
I'd have to get off around then. I gotta be up at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to be getting off as well.
All right, let's keep going until 8:30 then.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you guys, the day to day, pretty clear. A couple tradesmen on the road. Nothing crazy. No one's wagon needs fixed, and nobody's kids died.
And no wolves?
No wolves. No wolves. Not even a hoot. There's an eagle screeches overhead, and you look at it, and it's just sorry. So you guys make your way down the high road all the way to where it meets up with the path that kind of goes through. It's the path that people take to go from the long road to the high road, kind of where it meets in Tribor there. So you guys are making your way sort of around the Sword Mountains and the path of least resistance next to the Neverwinter Wood towards Tribor at this point. You guys make it through the day, like I said, no issues. You make it to the evening. Go ahead and Borax, roll for your watch. Roll your perception check.
14.
14. All right. So on your watch, you see something that you've heard someone else in your party saw before. You see this like small, like weird looking creature, kind of like it's sort of goblin-esque. It's like very like lithe and underfed, and it runs across sort of like your guys' clearing to the outside. It comes out of the brush into the clearing. You barely see it illuminated by the firelight, and it goes back into the brush just on the other side of the clearing.
Do I recognize anything about it besides just someone having seen it before? Like, do I recognize what it might be, or what it might look, something it might look like?
It seems kind of unnatural. It's certainly not as it doesn't have that same like smell, or none of the telltale signs of like the monstrosities that you guys have been fighting. Fighting. But it does bear some sort of like unnatural resemblance. It seems like if there was such a thing as an undergoblin, that's probably what it looked like.
Okay. It just darted in and out of sight, though, not like it was coming towards us, or
no, it wasn't coming towards you guys. It almost seemed. Actually, go ahead and make an insight check or a survival check. Actually, no, insight or nature. I'll let you pick. But
we'll go with nature. That'd be 13.
13. It looked like it was like running from something. Like it's kind of like how you see like rabbits when they're running.
Can I try to look off in the direction that it's running from?
Yeah. So do you kind of like walk over that way, or are you staying where you're at?
I'm going to. Hold on 1 second. I want to. Sorry, I'm just seeing if there's an animal that I can turn into that might help me. If I can turn into an owl, if it'll help my vision or something. Owl, keen hearing, and sight. Yeah, I'm gonna turn into an owl. I'll use my beast form to turn into an owl.
Okay. Are you taking flight?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So you're able to kind of hear better. You hear the creature moving off, still away from camp, but you hear another sound coming from the same direction. Go ahead. Make another perception check. This time, let's go with advantage since you have your owl eyes.
Yep, it naturally has advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 18 plus. It's got a +3 to perception, so that's 21.
Okay. All right. You see a probably like a younger adult male come sort of bursting out of the brush from where that creature came from, seemingly in pursuit. He gets into the clearing and notices the fire, and he kind of like looks around. You see that he has a blade drawn, and there is like sort of like a dull like orangish glow to the blade. Not enough to actually illuminate anything, but like you can tell that the blade is like needs business.
Okay, so as an owl, I go, whoo, whoo, and then I turn back into a halfling, and I go, are you?
He says, he goes, I'm a blood hunter of the Cashian Order. I'm hunting a beast. Did you see which way it went?
Do I know what that means? Like the Cashian Order?
Cassians hunt a lot at night.
We probably told you about it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of heard of this isn't the first time you've heard of the Cashian Order, but the only other time you heard about it was from your party members. Who was it? Xanil, or was it you that encountered this?
I don't remember who it was.
Okay, but
No,
yeah,
I think it was me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I called it the Cassius Clay guy.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only other time you've heard of it.
Well, and what do I remember from that instance? Because I don't.
Same thing, just a guy running wild through the.
This exact scene happened.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
right.
okay.
It's just a dude hunting a monster.
He went that way.
He says, Uh,
I point
says,
him in the right direction.
he kind of like bows, says, on behalf of the Cashian Order, I thank you. And he just like takes off back into the trees.
On behalf of not having to fight tonight, I thank you.
You got it.
Just as an aside, guys, I think next time we're in Neverwinter, we need to check out this Cashian thing.
Or
Yeah.
at least ask around. Yeah.
Um,
I'm
All
gonna
right.
make a note.
okay. All right. So Nevis, go ahead and let's have you make your perception check for your watch. Borax.
And I'll tell him about the Cashian Order guy.
Okay.
18.
Just mention that on the way out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you hear Borax recount his tale that seems very much like your own tale of your encounter with the Blood Hunter on a hunt, and you don't hear any further sounds that depict that. And yeah, so your watch comes and goes without any incident. So go ahead, Stock. Why don't you go ahead and roll your perception check?
That is a total of 18.
Okay.
No, 19.
Nevis, you were about to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna iterate what you had said already about mentioning the another Cassian
Okay.
encounter.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So kind of like it seems like right after Nevis goes to sleep, Stock. What'd you say your perception check was?
19.
19. You hear it sounds like it's coming from quite a distance away, like miles away, but you can barely hear it. This like strange like death squeal. And then that's it. The sound goes away and doesn't happen again.
Weapon drawn, pointing in that direction the rest of the watch.
Okay. All right. Xanalor, go
boner.
ahead. What was that, Nevis?
With a boner.
With a boner. He's standing fully erect and fully erect.
Ting! That metal cod piece is really working for me.
That way.
As a 5?
14.
Oh, 14.
I was like, which way does it go?
Okay. So yeah, your watch again. It kind of comes and goes. Nothing happens. You do see the sunrise instead of being like the purples and oranges. It is like a what's that called? It's like a blood sun rises. Like a red
That's like
red
a
sunrise.
sailor's warning, I think.
I'm gonna write
Yep,
that down.
sailor warning.
Yep.
Draft.
All right. Okay. But yeah. So once the party kind of starts moving, that reddish aura on the horizon has dissipated, burned away by the sunlight, and yeah. The next day starts up. This will be the last day-night cycle that we'll do tonight, guys. So as you guys travel, you actually come across a group of the sort of like pagan, not pagan. They're like peasant wanderers, sort of. They're like walking along the trade route, but they don't have a cart. You know, they're just kind of like making a pilgrimage with like the shit on their back. Yeah, basically nomads. Yeah. As you guys kind of like ride up closer to them, they go, Hammer of Hagrid guide you.
Just because I have to. Tell me more about your patron.
I take out my hammer.
We are on a pilgrimage, following along the path of our beloved deity Hagrid, along the course of his adventures. We bring justice where we see we can step in and do it, and we act conscionably and with bravery to correct wrongs where we see them, and all in the glory of our Lord Hagrid.
Regale me with the tales of Hagrid and his great deeds.
You haven't heard of Hagrid?
No.
You've not
No,
heard of
I
Hagrid the Hammer?
Shad we have?
Gosh. So Hagrid.
It was turned into an after-school special.
Hagrid
I'm like laying down to just sleep.
Hagrid was a half-orc paladin to Kiri Jolith, and Hagrid started out. Sorry, Goliath. My bad.
I thought he was just telling these people it had gotten translated differently over time.
Well, that's what I was wondering about.
He's a brave Goliath paladin of Kiri Jolith who traveled. He started his journey in Parnast and he bore witness to the destruction of Greenest against the hand of the cult of the dragon and their terrible followers of Tiamat, and he wrote his terrible hammer upon them and smote them. Single-handedly, Hagrid the hammer smote the cult of the dragon.
Wow.
His justice would not be stopped. He was once killed by a dragon only to come back and smite the same dragon. And him and his traveling companions traveled to the depths of hell itself and smote another dragon.
So much smoting.
It's a hell of a smoter.
How much smoting was there?
There was so much smote. So much smote it filled all the moats. And they hand you a folded up piece of parchment on the front of it is the holy symbol of Hagrid, which is basically it's a lot like the Iron Gauntlet symbol, where it was like a hand holding a sword, but instead it's like a gigantic fist holding a war hammer with lightning going through the back.
Nice. I love that.
Gee, thanks. And then I just roll my eyes. I've had a literal encounter with a god, and you don't see me talking about it.
Maybe you need pamphlets.
Borax rolls it up and tosses it back to him, and it just hits him in the forehead and bounces off.
We all travel our own paths. Be well. And they just like slowly like single file like around and through your donkeys and just travel past you.
Well, those people were interesting.
Fucking weirdos, if you ask me.
Any of you guys heard of that Hagrid before?
I don't think
more than two or those people in that church.
So I will actually the four of you go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Oh boy.
I don't get a good modifier in this one. I only got a 7.
Actually, so Nevis and Zanalor roll with advantage because of your connections to Neverwinter.
2.
6.
12. I did one better.
Okay.
19.
19. All right. Stock. Nope. Never heard of him. Borax. Nope. Never heard of him.
Fucking
Zanalor.
weirdos.
That sounds really familiar. Like maybe like a story from when you were a kid. I don't know. Nevis, you recall the name.
The irony in this.
You've gone past this. You've gone past this statue multiple times in Neverwinter. It's in the Protector's Enclave in another clearing. Sort of like parallel what you can actually see it from the Shrine of Bahamut if you look down the correct street. There is a large statue with big bronze figures on it. There's a lizard folk warrior. There is a gnome barbarian. There is an elven druid. So basically the statue that I described to you guys at the end of Rise of Tiamat. Yeah, you've seen this before, Nevis. Like you know the name Hagrid. Hagrid is on the statue. He's the big fucking tall one, big bald head gleaming in the sun. Yeah, that's him.
That's my jam, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so the statue commemorating the two parties that acted bravely and without thought of self, and succeeded in saving the the entirety of Faerun from the terrible wrath of Tiamat and her ridiculously dumb cult.
That's funny.
All right. Let's actually go ahead and we'll end it right there. That seems like a good note to finish on, huh?
Mhm.